I just do that because I'm not ready to go. Just kidding. Good flipping afternoon, everybody. How you doing? It is another episode of Coffee right here and a cup of color right here. So everybody get out your mugs. Put a little scoop of keef in your Keurig machine in the drip. Pour some coffee for yourself. Shout out to the Hurricanes who are going to the Final Four. And shout out to everybody watching today. Welcome again. It's your host, Culler. I got a lot to talk about today. We're going to get into the latest on Lamar Jackson. He threw some tweets out late last night, after the owners' meeting, and obviously nobody talked to him. Wanted to get into something that a couple of people have been saying, show a quick little comparison chart. But we'll get into that. I also want to get into, I want to remind everybody this is all just a game. There's people saying some really, really crazy stuff. I haven't really had my own show since the whole DeShon Elliott thing hit. I mean, I guess it hit like the day last time I had a show, but y'all heard what I have to say about it. I'll reiterate that and a little more. And we'll also get into, as the show title says, is winning inevitable? I mean, Vic Fangio, you know how I feel about points per game. We got a brand new color calculator, as you can see. Same model and everything, just updated. And really good sturdy calculator. It's about the only one basic calculator they sell anymore. Pretty much. I mean, we got so many other options now, but either case, we're going to find out what the color calculator has to say about what we need to do on defense to give our offense an even better chance to win games based on point per game production on both sides of the ball. And we'll see how Vic Fangio and some additions on defense might be able to help us snag a couple more ball games, no matter what goes down on offense, supposing we can score with anybody under center. So we'll get into that. That's what I want to kind of wrap it up with. I don't want to go forever today. I wanted to see if, Shaking the Boys or somebody might follow me up with a panel for y'all. I don't, I could run one, but that's what gets me into missing shows in the future. It takes so much energy to do that, guys. I don't mind doing it, but, I take on everybody's energy, including my own, which y'all know I have quite a bit of. But speaking of our first topic, when I get there, you can see I've got a lot of energy about that. It's not, like I said, it's not even about the Dolphins at this point. It's just a whole bunch of ridiculousness. I mean, the longer it draws out, I guess, the more it's in favor of a team like the Dolphins who keep claiming that they're fine with their existing quarterback, which also ties back into the show title. Well, I should be pointing down. See, on my screen, it's up above my head, but I should be pointing down. The show title is down for you guys. But is winning inevitable? I mean, when I say I'll take Donald Duck at quarterback, is that really the truth? Regardless of whether it's come to be yet or we have to hope it happens or whatever else. I mean, we're obviously talking about paper here, given that the paper hasn't changed all that much from last year, except in a couple key areas that might actually make a difference if the paper becomes reality in those key spots. So I'll get into all that right off the top of my head. You're going to have to bear with me for a minute because instead of doing show prep and pulling up the examples and stuff I wanted to talk about, I kind of just toked. But that's how it goes when you're an amateur. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's do some housekeeping. You know how it is, amateur or not. I still got to thank everybody for being in chat. You guys are freaking awesome every day. There's only 28 of you. So what you need to do is like, so that the algorithm knows something was going on over here. Interesting. Dislike, so the algorithm knows, hey, people hate this, and they throw it in everybody's face. And share it. You want more people to talk to in chat, share it. You know a whole lot more people come in than this 30 every day. So they're out there somewhere ready to be talked to by you. Just bring them into the chat by letting them know we went. And hit your own notification bell and encourage everybody else to hit the notification bell so that you know when we're going here at the Finn's Tailgate. My home. Yep. Color Commentary's home. And, I don't want to get into that right at the moment, but we got something else to talk about too, but we'll get that out of the way. Now, you can always catch more content on the show. El Capitan, at just about every night of the week if he can. The man works every day, so sometimes it's hard. And, we're trying to get more backup we brought on board, that kind of thing. We get it going. Then you got, Lewis, the rabid dolphin, always riding in. He's got the link now, so he might roll in at any time. You never know. And you got myself, of course. I did an afternoon color commentary the other day, but today I decided to do a coffee show, coffee and a cup of color, because I wanted to be more relaxed. I wanted it to be more personal, more let's say, licensed, when it comes to things like my opinion. And I also missed the show in the morning again. So, hey, you get it today at 2:30. That's when I'm having my cup of coffee. What can I say? But you also got DTA, King DTA with the Dolphins debrief and trying to fire up the war room. Hopefully, if I don't go encroach too much into his time today, might be right around his time to do it today. So we'll see what he's got going on. Late Night Exhale's on hold until the preseason because it's a hype show and Ali really don't see any point in doing it if there's no game to hype for. So he's got broken takes, bunch of pre-recorded stuff, usually goes about an hour to 2 hours long. I'll usually help him give my 2 cents, my broken ass takes. And so keep looking out for that. And of course, Ali and I are starting up here in the next week or so, depending on what's going on with his work schedule. Early show, 6 a.m. to 8. I don't know if he's dropped the title yet or not, so I don't want to spoil it, but I'm going to be following that up. That's also going to be a segue to coffee and a cup of color every day, every other day at least, from 8 till about 10 or so, maybe longer, depending on how much there is to talk about. My Capitan texting me right now. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's reminding me of a few things I forget. But anyway, if you want to support the channel, you can do that with Cash at $, the Finn's Tailgate, Venmo, the Finn's Tailgate, or as the gracious Pete has done, which you can send a super chat or a super sticker. Thank you, Pete, for the $4 super sticker. How you doing, Pete? Always love having you around. You can do it that way. You can get a membership, 3 different levels. And I believe I got it all. Aside from that, the easiest way to do it again is liking and sharing. And you can do things like using the link in the description below for fanatics. Get all your licensed gear, officially licensed gear for the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, MLS. Did I forget any? QRPs, ZOYs, whatever else you can think of. Hit the link in the description below because it lets them know we sent you. And they really do love it when we send people over there. You can also check out Doobie Energy Products, energy drinks. Link in the description below. And Backroom Collections, hashtag TFTG at checkout for 10% off. You can also check out all the great TFTG gear, including a coffee mug with Culler's logo on it, as you can see. So you can really have a cup of coffee with your boy Culler. I like it. I want one of those. So you can also get a flag, fly it high, fly it proud, let everybody know who you listen to every day. Beanies, hats, flip-flops for CB83. And I got one more. One more, everybody, but I don't have it on mine, so I got to switch over real quick. And that would be the proud sponsors of the TFTG network, ZSM Sports, Zeta. Wait, but that is Zulu Sierra Michael Sports, ZSM Sports, South Florida's #1 sports memorabilia and private signing agency. I do believe, if the time hasn't run out, he's working with Zach Sealer at the moment. Get in touch with them. Email zsmsports25@gmail.com. In the local area, Broward area, phone number 954-980-5801. And all the socials at their bottom, Twitter, Instagram, they use both. Check them out, ZSM Sports, proud sponsor of the TFTG network. And I'm done. Oh my God, now it's time to thank everybody for being here because I got to make some banners. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to thank some people. We'll go with that one for the first one. Yeah. That's what we'll do. Okay. Who was first today? Let's see. According to StreamYard, Scott Jackson, TFTG for life. You know it. California. Michael K. Masquerading as fifth year bitches. See, he's a Tua fan and a Buffalo fan and a TFTG member. Do you like the Buffalo fan? Become a TFTG member today. It's easy. Flava J, how you doing? Fins up, buddy. Clemente always coming in. California, I already got you. Steve, of course. Salute, sir. Again, Pete's takes with the $4 super sticker. Pete tells me he's probably going to be getting back on track, probably with some good fantasy takes this season coming up. So keep a lookout for him. He's still trying to grow his channel. You know, it's not like it's dead. He does some good stuff over there. Fun to watch him. Liz, how you doing? Fins up 74. Walt Dog knows what's up. Banana. Because of the H, I gotta stress the Bahanana. Cool name, man. Chef Jew. The ambassador Chef Jew. TFTG's and the Dolphins community's #1 ambassador. I'm trying to check my pulse, Chef Jew. It's tough. But we'll see. I think it's going to be okay. Again, I think it might be inevitable. Win, 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 right? That's all we have left to do. Brandon R., how you doing? Lance, if you're on the road, safe travels. Carlos, how you doing? JM Santos. Jarvis. Von Joe. Still clanging and banging, I hope. Keeping it real. Keeping it tough. Yeah, docket is a little bit of Lamar, a little bit of DeShon Elliott. Got 2 DeShons to talk about today. One regarding Lamar. Chris Sims made an interesting comment that I heard yesterday that I find refutable, although fair. And it's not, he's just stating what people might be thinking. I don't think he thinks that necessarily, but we'll get into that in a second. I think now maybe because I think a DP, I see you, DP. CCRR, always been around. And Samaj Taylor, love you too, buddy. Been seeing you over on Stephen D recently. Glad to see you there, man. You're really great contributor. Great speaker. Enjoyable to watch. Funny. And yeah, I've been enjoying watching you down there, over on Stephen D's network. Everybody check out Miami Sports Music. #1 in Stephen D's world. Just kidding, man. Yeah, so I guess that'll get us there. I'm going to stick this banner up because we're trying to, make it easier for us to find things because, people want receipts all the time. So, it's a pain when we have to go look through 3 hours of videos. So, yeah. So what do I got the flip flops back on? Who wanted flip flops? Who called for CB83 back? Man, CB83 leaving his flip flops everywhere. Look at that. I mean, at least they're TFTG flip flops. Give the man credit. How you doing, Brandon R? As soon as I put down my coffee, I will click the button that shows that to everybody up here on the big screen. Let's see. There we are. That lever, turn that dial. There we are. Look at that. How's it going, Brandon R? $2 donation. Appreciate you, buddy, with the super chat. Hi, Culler. First time here. And that's why I appreciate it, because I'm just glad to have you here, man. Appreciate you coming to listen. Yeah, really do. Just tell everybody about it. That's all it takes. We'll have more people in here to talk to. Everybody's like, come on, Culler, just get into it. They're all leaving, you know what I mean? Like, come on, guys. We get more people in here, man. I don't want to talk to no 5 people. No, we got like 40 people watching right now. Appreciate every one of you. And I will get into the first topic of the day. Oh, look at this. Somebody went in and created a bunch of banners. See, I created a different one. Looks like Capitan created that one. But see, my banner was actually created based on the context of that tweet. I meant to put a question mark there because I don't think he checked out. I'm just saying that was meant to be a question mark. So we'll use this one. Okay, so as excuse me, some of you might be aware, there was no mention of anybody engaging in talks or whatever as the owner meetings progressed yesterday and I guess finished up. I'm not really sure, but and there was a few things that got said, by certain people's camps that I find hilarious, but I'm pretty sure Lamar did as well. Of course, the lingering question about injury, you know, now I get it. People are concerned about injuries, and I've often said, well, he just wasn't happy in Baltimore. Things aren't necessarily, destructive injuries, but there's also something to be said for, you know, as Lamar says, certain percentage you're at, you're now running the risk without a contract of turning something that is not serious into something that's serious. And I think people have to take that into consideration because it also speaks into the narrative about him and potential injuries. So if we're talking about, he prevented himself from getting an injury, so now he's got more mileage on him, then you have to kind of consider that. I mean, let's be real. That's the whole point of preserving yourself. If we're talking about a real business decision here. So I'll let you decide. Let's see what he actually said. Blow it up a little bit. There we go. All right, blind folks like me. So Lamar tweets last night. I don't remember me sitting out on my guys week 1 versus the Jets to week 12 versus the Broncos. How come all of a sudden I sit out because of money? I sit out because of money, as if to say, because y'all think I'm sitting out because it's money, in which I could have got hurt at any time within that time frame. When we know the Super Bowl been on my mind since April 2018. And he replies to him, goes on to say in a second tweet, let's get real. I'd rather have 100% PCL than go out there and play horrible, forcing myself to put my guys in a bad situation. Now that's selfish to me. I can hear the context there. Like, that's what's selfish to him. People can say what they want about what selfish is, but because when I've said, hey, he either sat out because he's not happy, or in this case, looking like he might have made a business decision due to, for preventative measures, then, the comeback to me has always been, oh, well, that's a selfish thing for him to do, Culler. I mean, why would, can you, whatever. Put that to bed. It's such a, it's so ridiculous anymore. It's no different than guys tanking. Like, why would somebody go out there and risk injury, and all that without the intention of, you see what I'm saying? So it's the same situation here. And you may say, oh, well, it might be, well, he's got to play through it or whatever. If it's not real, like for instance, he could have played apparently. But are you talking about, hey, what's my level of percentage of being right? So if I'm at 90%, I can reasonably be sure that I can play in a way that's number one, effective, and number two, not going to get myself injured and become something serious. Now, if that percentage is at 75%, ask yourself how important that money becomes. I'm a 75% chance that I'm not going to get injured and be healthy enough to be effective, which means 75% effective. I mean, if the Ravens had already paid for him, he's got to do it. But if you're asking him to go out there and do that, driving all of his value to zero, he's not going to do it. You don't need an agent to tell him that. Although, if that's the message, and I'm here as color commentary, some nobody saying, hey, this is what the deal is with Lamar, then that's all an agent's going to say to them, but they have the access. And it is fair to say, without criticizing Lamar, that you might need that access if you want it. I don't think the guy, comes out and says he requested a trade if he didn't intend on playing this year. There is the thoughts by guys like Florio, for instance, that think there's a decent chance he doesn't play this year. And now he's even talking his own take, not reality, not like a real prediction, but like, hey, keep this in the back of your mind that he could drive himself into a situation where he's Kaepernicked out altogether and never plays again. And I'm thinking, that's outrageous, Florio. But he didn't mean it to be real, like serious take. He just meant it to say, hey, this is a scenario that is now, in play because the league could continue to start, teams could continue to start doing this way. Now, I thought about it when I was watching him thinking, okay, first of all, what the real issue to me is the teams are looking at it like there's got to be one team out there that has to do two of two things, not one of two. There's a whole bunch of teams out there willing to do one of the two things that needs to happen to get a trade done with the Ravens. Number one, you got to make the Ravens happy. People forget that part of it too. And you've got to make Lamar Jackson happy. Now, there's a whole bunch of people that could make Lamar Jackson happy. Willing, can, whatever the reason. And there's a whole bunch of people out there, teams out there willing to make the Ravens happy and have the ability to. Who's that team that has both? That's really the question. And has the will to. And that's the obstacle that Lamar Jackson starts facing here. And that's why the teams are silent. Now, a couple of smatterings have come out. Yeah, Irsay, I firmly believe that Lamar wants to play and knows and is betting on kind of what I am. Like, hey, a team's just going to do it. There's got to be a team. Look for the Commanders. Pay attention to the draft because Lamar has till July 17th, I believe, to sign the tender. It's doubtful he'd hold out, but he ain't going to play for $30-something million. So, or if he does, it's going to be just like it was this year. It's going to be 75%. Because that's what you're paying for is 75% of what he's worth. That's just that's life. Now Lamar has to decide whether he, believes the hype about the possibilities of being shafted out for good. I don't know if Lamar buys that. I think he's such a phenomenal athlete that it wouldn't matter. I mean, unless you're talking about, I don't know. I mean, is his attitude really that much of a that rise to the level of a Kaepernick? I mean, we don't know. Couple things I wanted to point out though that started me down this last night. You guys heard me. I'm not into the business of, hey, It ain't no, I am here to advocate for Lamar Jackson to become a Miami Dolphin. I don't care if it's not possible. If you already think it's not going to, there's people out there. Saw it come across my feed this morning on the toilet on the Google News feed. I saw a headline said that claimed that it is confirmed that Mike McDaniel confirmed Tua over Lamar Jackson. First of all, anybody that would say that with a bold face publicly, I don't know. I'd have to question their sanity, but I'd have to go back and look at the video. Maybe we will later on and see the context for myself. I don't recall him saying anything like that, but I'll leave it up to you guys to decide. But there's people out there, that think that, oh, because I've been told by so-and-so, or I know who and who, that, it's a done deal that, yeah, well, I can see that. There's nothing else to see right now. I mean, right now, look at our depth chart. There's nothing else to see. We have who we have on the team. Our coach is in the business of answering questions, whether strategic questions, personnel questions, whatever they are regarding this team. He only has an obligation to answer questions going forward as if these are the guys he's working with. And I'm sorry if that hurts people's ears, if they think I'm stupid for saying that. But as I said again, until the man is wearing another uniform, he is available and he is an upgrade. And I am going to advocate for him to become a Miami Dolphin. I get you, CCR. It's tough. We're going to have to find a way to do it. But nobody's going to convince me that things can't be done to afford it. I got you, Crypto. But Mike McDaniel isn't even who I wanted to talk about. I just thought it was interesting how, here's the thing. And I'm going to give you an example from another team so we can take it off our team so nobody thinks I'm insulting. Oh, I got you. CCR. I thought so. I'm like, wow, is CCR that pragmatic that he's like, no, yeah, I got you, man. Sorry about that. But yeah. Take it away from the Miami Dolphins. I've got somebody, okay. I'm going to be completely honest with you. This is a screenshot that was shared to me in a community chat, which will remain nameless. Of a tweet. Okay. And I have not actually went and said, oh, look, okay. But look at this that was DM'd to me. Because it's not something that's like, it has the virtue of being the truth. So yeah, I'll go look. I'm going to verify it, but it's not like, it's not the point, because the point is to shine a light on the fact that people say this kind of thing constantly, and the narrative needs to be squashed. And it really kind of pained me because I expected more out of this guy. Let me get this screen shared here. I got a whole, you guys know, I got like ancient machinery here. I got to push buttons, turn dials, flip levers. I mean, I'm working with what amounts to a pinball machine here. Just kidding. Okay, so it's going to be harder for me to zoom in on this one, I guess. Maybe a little more I can get out of it. No, but because it's an image, it's not going to zoom on it. Okay, so I'll read it too. Oops, let me go back. Oh, where did it go? Check this out. So it says, this is tweeted by Ari Myrov and his handle is at MySportsUpdate. Falcons owner Arthur Blank told a group of reporters that the Lamar Jackson situation is very different, quote, very different than Deshaun Watson from a year ago. Blank did mention there's some concern with Lamar's style and how long it can hold up. He brought up the games he's missed over the last 2 years. Each game counts in this business. And I get that aspect of it. But this, I just got a question. Just what is Lamar's style? Good point, Pete. Good point, Pete. But that's not even, I hadn't even thought of that one. But that's number two. That's double about what I'm about to point out. And you know as well as I do, Pete. Pete says coming from the owner who paid Michael Vick. Pete, since you and I were kind of on the guy during the offseason, I'll let you answer. If you'd be so kind to do the honor. Who is the current quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons? I'll wait. I mean, it don't have to be Pete. Anybody can answer. Who is the current quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons? There they coming in. Scott Jackson, Ken Rosa, Ritter, Desmond Ritter. And yeah, Marcus Mariota, I guess, is on their roster too. Desmond Ritter. Now, I'll get flagged for copyright if I show you video of this guy. Okay. The reason I know this is because we showed you video in the offseason of his college video in Cincinnati when I was talking him up. Okay, Mariota's gone. Okay, fine. One of the things I said was, wow, he doesn't necessarily, maybe he's not as good. Maybe he's not as athletic. Maybe he's not going to have the potential. But gosh, if his style don't look familiar. A lot like Deshaun Watson. I mean, what are we talking about here? I think it's a fair question to ask without throwing out any cards. I'm not trying to do that. I'll let people do that for themselves. But it is a fair question to ask. Just what style does Lamar Jackson have or have to be accounted for? Because that's what we're really talking about here. Money. What is it about Lamar Jackson that needs to be accounted for? That's the real question. Am I the only one asking it? If the answer's got to come from Lamar, because sorry guys, I dropped my weird terrible towel. If the answer's got to come from Lamar Jackson because it's an off-field issue or a personality issue or whatever, that's fine. But I don't think that's what it is. You've got an owner out here that's saying, hey, we got something to account for here. His style of play. While you got a quarterback that emulates Deshaun Watson. And that's the quarterback you don't want to offend, as some have astutely pointed out. That's the quarterback you don't want to offend by talking to somebody outside the building. That's the mistake we made, remember? Whoever made it. Done arguing about who made it. We made it as an organization, as a team. And we lost a chance to get Deshaun Watson because of it. Hey, we got Ritter in the chat. Yo, Ritter, how do you see yourself? What kind of style you got? Do you equate yourself to the type of quarterback that Deshaun Watson or Lamar Jackson is? I mean, now I want to say, stylistically, you could argue that they are somewhat different in their own personal style, their own personal juice, if you want to call it that they add to their own game. But both can throw on the run. Both are dynamic athletes and dynamic runners. I'd give the edge to Lamar Jackson there. Both can sling the ball. Ball placement and control of the ball, I'd probably give an edge to DeShaun Watson. And that can be powerful because that is, in the long run, probably more important than the actual, hey, am I a little more agile in the run game? But we're talking about, which I'm going to illustrate in a minute. We're talking about the margin so thin. You're right, V21. Ritter is not, I'm not saying Ritter is like up there in potential. I'm just saying that quote unquote style, as Mr. Blank likes to call it, he's already got a guy in the building that emulates that, at the very least, in the way that Skylar Thompson emulates Josh Allen. Which is, remember, why the two in ears say we drafted Skylar was to emulate Josh Allen in camp. They literally said that the night we drafted Skylar. You can't make this stuff up. It's probably true. My only argument is if the guy can emulate Josh Allen, then why the hell isn't he starting? I mean, really. But anyway, I digress. Chris Sims, as I was alluding to earlier, made a point that I think was fair. I don't think was intended to jab Lamar, but was kind of like off the mark a bit. And I'll tell you why, because if I can remember the point for a second. Just kidding. I watched a brilliant take, a little session between Florio and Chris Sims about the latest and about the tweets and about, you know, how long really Lamar Jackson is for the league based on what they're all doing. And Sims had made the point that Lamar could. Okay, let me try to give a summary of how the conversation went. Florio had made the point that, hey, if this kept extending out, let's say if he sits and doesn't play this year, it could be well. How you gonna earn yourself any more value then? Then the teams even have more leverage to say we don't know nothing about this guy. We ain't giving him the bag. So that's why Florio became concerned, not as a prediction, not as a hey, this will happen, but to say that this is something that you have to look out for. Is that you could get a situation where nobody wants to pay him at all because they don't know him anymore and he's out. He never plays again. Now, I don't know if Florio threw that out there to kind of spark a little something in Lamar. I don't think Lamar Jackson has any intention of not playing again. I think the guy really is hungry. Now, Sims, along with, he was listing, I think, the common tropes about Lamar Jackson to the point where it's like, okay, we checked this box, we checked this box, we checked this box, but the owners are concerned about, number one, obviously his style. Number two, his injury possibility and the perception of that. And Chris also added his playoff record. I'm like, dude. Now I know it's 1-3. Okay. But you're talking about a very young guy. Those playoff games he's played. Okay. He needs a chance to get back. And I don't want anybody to tell me that that's any measure of what could end up doing. Especially if we're going to compare him to one Deshaun Watson. And if we're going to talk about who sat a year and who didn't want to play ball, literally. And we're talking about Lamar don't want to risk a PCL injury, so throw him out the league. Throw him out the league. Who's that guy think he is? Bringing his style in here. I mean, come on, man. Now, I'm not saying that was what Chris was intending. I love Chris. I think I think Dolphin fans are really harsh on Chris. I think Chris Sims is a lot of the time spot on. And even if not, I guarantee you that the guy knows what a good cheeseburger tastes like. Y'all have heard my analogy before. I probably don't have to repeat it. You ain't got to be a chef to know what a good cheeseburger tastes like. Well, Chris Sims knows what a good cheeseburger tastes like, whether you like to hear that or not. But he thought that one of the things that could be a catalyst for what Florio was saying, one of the things that could facilitate or make possible what Florio was suggesting, was Lamar's stubbornness, was his will to kind of prove everybody wrong. I don't need an agent. I don't need, how far is Lamar willing to take that bravado? And that is a concern. Because whether Lamar likes it or not, and this isn't something I have to tell Lamar. The problem that I have with everybody is not so much that they're saying what's right for Lamar. It's that they think Lamar needs to hear this from them. They think Lamar doesn't know this stuff. Trust me, I'm a smart guy. But if Culler can figure it out, I'm sure Lamar Jackson can too. Stop with the diminishing of the man's intelligence. I'm so tired of watching people insult this man's intelligence. Now, I'm not saying Chris was doing that. I'm saying I kind of got sidetracked. But Chris was saying, hey, one of the other things that he seems to be really stubborn about, and maybe even, dare I say, obsessed with, is this Deshaun Watson deal. I mean, and then you pepper on top the Daniel Jones deal. I mean, come on. Ladies and gentlemen, and all stops between, 70 of you watching, thank you so much. To every 75 now, that jumped up real quick. Thank you so much. I got a question. And I forgot what it was. Because Shake Money just came in the building. What's up, man? It just bugs me, man. Florio even made the point that if Deshaun Watson, if Lamar Jackson was the guy, that it was a matter of right time and right place. If Lamar Jackson was Deshaun Watson when the Browns swooped in and did that, he'd have got the deal. And I'm thinking, what? And on top of that, if you talk about what I actually believe, look, we don't have no chance to get Deshaun Watson. He's a Cleveland Brown now. So I'm not going to sit here and compare who's better, Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson. Lamar Jackson is good enough for me to go hard to get. Okay? Just as well as Deshaun is. We can argue later about who's best. If you ever find yourself in an argument with the Cleveland Browns, Lamar Jackson being our quarterback and Deshaun Watson being theirs, if you ever find yourself in an argument with a Cleveland Brown fan about whether Lamar is as good as Deshaun, hey, let him have Deshaun. But you're having that argument. Remember, you're having that argument. That's what we all miss here. Now, I wanted to get into that because I think it actually is closer than people think, although I would value Lamar just a smidgen lower. But when it comes to that contract, that's what I'm not saying it has to be exactly like that. I'm not speaking for Lamar. He claims that it doesn't have to be as much as everybody's claiming. But the fact of it is, he is obsessed with making sure that he's seen as right up there with Deshaun Watson. And I believe he's earned it. I believe he's earned it. Now, in the paradigm of whether either of them earned it or deserved that kind of money that's a principle argument. You can have that another day. But the cookie jar is open, people. I mean, come on. Daniel Jones getting $45 million. Come on. Oh, that's what I was going to ask the audience, the 76 of you watching. And be honest with yourself. because this is more of a subjective, principled question. This is a question about your code, your personal code, and can only be answered by yourself, for yourself. Would you even want to watch a league where a Daniel Jones is making $10 million or more dollars than a Lamar Jackson? Would you even trust that league to watch it? Or should you? I guess is the better question, because we all know we will. I'm not I'm not the boycott type, obviously. Plenty of reasons to boycott the NFL. I mean, do you really want to watch that quality of football? If that's the case, I would rather follow Lamar Jackson to the USFL than watch a lot of other things in the NFL. I'll put it that way. That's as far as I'll go. I don't care how CB83 takes that. I know Daniel Jones is a good QB. And I know that in this paradigm of inflation that Daniel Jones probably just set a new low. That should be the floor. So I kind of agree with you there, Jose. Jose says Daniel Jones is a good QB, and he's right. Which means that that's now a floor. Which did just as much to set this new paradigm as a second fully guaranteed contract like Deshaun Watson's. You see what I'm saying? The owners have already lost if Daniel Jones is making $45 million. In my opinion. Now, the owners will never say, oh, they don't know I exist. I'm a bug on their shoe. You know what I mean? But I believe the owners have already lost when a guy like Daniel Jones is making $45 million. I cannot imagine Lamar Jackson taking a snap from a Baltimore Ravens center for that kind of money. I just don't. If that means no team is going to give him what he wants, then he's out. Yeah, TPP CEO. I've thought that as soon as I heard about the contract, I kind of, I've spoken about it, and I've already given that opinion. It just didn't get heard because people don't like talking like that. That's kind of minutia for some people, but yeah, he's not even a top 16 QB. He just created the floor, and I don't think it's wrong. I think it's like ridiculous. It's not even a matter of whether the owners want to play this game or whether Lamar earns it or deserves it or whatever you want to say, or what their concerns are or what they have to account for. I don't care about all that. You better get him before somebody else does, because it's not going to be long before one of these owners say, hey, wait a minute here. The floor is $45 million. What are we doing here? We're going to be shafted out of a transcendent quarterback for the next 20 years again. If you think about it, a team stands a chance to get Lamar at a pretty low premium. If you really think about it. Let me give you an example. How long ago was it that we gave Tannehill, quote unquote, his bag? And he got $90 million spread out over a couple years. And we thought that was ridiculous money when he got it. And that wasn't that long ago. You might be right, Canes 89. I don't necessarily disagree with that. They may be convinced. onto it. But it may be a case that they either won't or can't, or for whatever reason, or just don't care. Also, or they may say, hey, we're going to try, but if it don't work out, we've got to be ready to say, hey, we were behind Tua the whole time. There is no way the Miami Dolphins now, if they do pursue something, if you do believe, if a person believes that they're at the table like everybody else, then they cannot let that out. If that gets leaked, heads are going to roll. People are going to get fired. You know what I mean? And it's only because they've done what they've done. They have such a fragile mind that, okay, and I don't want to say, maybe I'm wrong for saying that. I should retract it because I don't want to say Tua has a fragile mind. Okay. But the people that have spoken for him and excused him have literally said that his play gets affected by talk outside the building. So what can I say? Now, whether it's Tua has a fragile mind or his sycophant fans have a fragile mind, you might be able to correct me on that. As was evident in the DeShon Elliott debacle. I mean, you have absolutely got to be kidding me. And I want to squash a narrative right now. This idea, the comeback I keep hearing, oh, well, consequences for free speech. Are you serious? How about this? How about it goes 3 ways? DeShon Elliott says what he says. Twitter idiots say what they say and say, oh, we have a right because consequences. And guess what? Culler comes right back around and says what he has to say. And how about this? Y'all are fucking morons. Complete and utter morons. How do you like that? You want to say shit about DeShon Elliott? Consequences for free speech, right? Well, I'm going to say you're fucking morons. How do you like me now? And I'm not speaking to the average person that says, you probably shouldn't have said that. No, that's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about these fucking idiots that sit on fucking private Twitter spaces because they ain't got the fucking nads to do it on a show like this, that are talking about posseing up on this fucking man. Are you serious? A football player in the National Football League, a Miami Dolphin, and you're talking about posseing up on this guy. Seriously? First of all, and I don't think this man needs me to speak for him, but the man's laughing at your ass. He's straight laughing at your ass. Even though you thought you were giving him the business, he was still laughing at your ass. Even though he has an argument to say you're a fucking idiot for saying something like that. Like, DeShon has a right to tell those idiots that they're stupid for saying that, but he won't. He laughs at people like that. You know why? Because that's what they need in their lives. Laughter. And he recognizes that. You know why? Because he's a mature human being. Now, I've been on record saying it's not about whether it's something he should have said or shouldn't have said, being brand new in the building. First of all, I predicted the backlash. Go back and watch my show from a couple days ago. I predicted the backlash. I even predicted what the backlashers would say. And they did. And they followed suit. And they made Culler right again. What was it? Oh, he's just a nobody. Cut him. Of course. Let me ask you this, ladies and gentlemen, and all stops between. If you wanted to get a message out and wanted to use somebody in your circle of friends to get the message out, would you choose the most expendable friend of your circle or the least expendable friend of your circle? I could easily say that. As well as, he don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's so new in the building, he don't know. He's a nobody. He's a nobody. Well, you know who's a nobody to me? QB1. You gonna posse up on me? Well, if that's what, hey, Chewy, if they posse up on me, bro, you let them know. You play this video for them, all right? I'm counting on you, buddy. Because I'm just a poor guy and screaming into the wind. I could easily be plucked out by people that have nefarious intentions like that. That's why I'm calling it out. It's absolutely ridiculous, childish, kindergartenish. And if you're over 10 years old, okay, we'll get 12 years. If you're over 12 years old and you're acting like that and saying things like that, you're nowhere near adulthood. And if you're an adult saying that, turn in your card. Turn in your card. I mean, is that what you're teaching your children? Seriously. I ain't trying to bring kids into it. I'm just saying, is that what you're teaching your children? God help us. I ain't even gonna go that far. I'll stop now on that. But you know where I stand. I'm on record as saying thank you, DeShon. I'm glad to have some info coming out of the building because you know, uh, I speak for you guys. I don't like I told you all the other day. I'm speaking for that player that can't because you're not going to convince me that many people, that many players in the building, and all of them in their own private hearts and minds, 100% are lockstep and barrel with what's going on. Even if there's one, I'll speak for him. Even if I'm wrong, somebody's got to say it for them. Because you see what happens when they say it for themselves. They're calling for his job, bro. You know what? I'm going to address it directly to the man that called for his job, and I think we all know who that is. And I'm sorry if you're offended by this, and I'm sorry if this breaks all the rules between YouTube content creator etiquette and all that fucking bullshit. I got 77 people watching me right now. This man has hundreds watching him. I haven't even watched one of his shows in God knows how long. So he may even have thousands watching him live, calling for this man's job. Some of us don't have, bro, you don't even realize, man. You know, I come up here and talk to everybody. You all think that I'm some kind of some like independently wealthy idiot casual that just got a microphone and says what's on his mind. Okay? You don't realize what my private life is about. As far as having the means to, sustain myself and sustain this little measly existence I have on YouTube. Okay? A graphic that was made in-house by, thank God, HB. My own expression. I made it up, but HB refined it. That's all I got. I don't have sponsors out the ass going, Culler, can you talk about our product so people will buy it? You got so many viewers. I'm just a nobody. And I struggle to even stay alive, bro. Some of it my own doing, some of it through no fault of my own. But I struggle to stay alive. I don't have nothing to my name, bro. What you see behind me, this microphone, camera, computer to run it all, few clothes in the closet, and a bed. That's what I got. And you're out here calling for this man's job. It's fucking appalling, dude. If you and if people have a problem with me saying that and calling it out, sorry. What am I going to lose? What is the guy going to slap me down, punch down to me, and say, "You're never going to get anybody to, you're never going to get anybody to come on your show, Culler, and fuck with you," and they're out there calling for this man's job. Grown fucking man. I ain't fucking crying. You see fucking tears? You see fucking tears in these eyes? Fucking told you some of it's through my fault. It's not all of it. This world is filled with people like you that step all over everybody else and shame everybody else and wag your finger at everybody the fuck else. And while you sit there calling for a man's job that you don't even know, the man's got a family, bro. Man's got a family. How would you like it if somebody did that to you, man? Did you ever stop to think when you open that fucking mouth what it feels like to be the person that you're saying shit like that about? If you want to go out there, man steps out on the field in training camp, right? Steps out into preseason, whatever, plays like complete garbage. You want to call for the man's job based on those grounds, that's completely a different story. It's completely a different story. One has redeemability, the other doesn't. You understand? You call for the man's job because of his trashy play. He has a way to redeem himself as a man. You call for his job because he said something that you don't agree with. What redeemability does he have in your eyes? None, because I know how you roll. Nobody has redeemability in your eyes, nor do I. Figured that out early on. So I've never even spoken your name. What's up, Jake? Well, we can't hear you.
Oh, my bad. What's going on?
There you are, man. There you are. Not much, man. How you doing?
Good, good. I'm driving to my next account. Did I pop in? I thought I was going to be backstage.
Right on. Yeah, it does that when you're on the cell phone.
Okay, okay. I hope I'm not interrupting you.
No, not at all. I mean, am I being outrageous, bro, do you think? Or
It's what?
should I not be saying all this right now? Because I think it's outrageous.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, just like how they have a right to call him an idiot, you have the right to call them out as well. So
Right.
it's good for the gander, right?
Right. But I don't remember anybody having the right to posse up on somebody.
I feel you. And you know what's funny is I'm always mindful, because at the end of the day, that same posse that you're ganging up on, all you got to do is say something they don't like, and that same posse burning down your front door and doing the same shit to you, bro.
Well, especially when we live in a world where we've literally witnessed stuff like that for less.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't understand what makes somebody think it's okay to say that. You know, now I'm not saying that the person I was just speaking about was not calling for any of that, but calling for the man's job. The training camp ain't even started yet. Now here I am over here, Shake, thinking, of course his job's going to be cut, but not on the basis of calling for it, more on the basis of if they intended to use him to get a message out, then he was always intended to be cut. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But, you know, at the end of the day, I want those same people to training camp to say it to his face what he has to say.
See, this is what gets me right here, though, Shake. Q says this is funny. What's funny about it, bro? I mean, the more people say this is funny and diminish it, the more people think it's okay. We just slowly get desensitized to this nonsense by people just saying stuff like this is funny. Like, why? Calling for the man's job, bro. Like, I'm so glad. You know what? This is kind of what I was alluding to. I'm so glad I don't have a job for people to call for. I certainly am, man. Because I would have already spent it by now. People would have already been calling my manager. It's ridiculous, man. I hope he's the only cornerback left. How do you like that? I hope he's getting a game-winning interception in week 12.
Yeah. But the way I look at it, at the end of the day, it's Mike McDaniel's call and Chris Greer, and I really don't think they give a rat's ass what the fan base thinks.
Well, of course not. But see, that's the thing. They kind of should, if they were truly being honest about their feelings for what we have. I mean, the two ears make a good point. Like, look, if you're completely sold on Culler, on Tua, sorry, not Culler. Yeah, you're all sold on me. If you're completely sold on Tua, okay,
yeah,
then what he said is damaging for your optics. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you don't do anything about it. But if you're not sold on Tua, you don't care what it looks like to QB1. So I guess we'll find out eventually. I mean, you know, and that's the thing. They're not going to want anybody to know. So it's likely he won't get cut until after camp, and it'll be like, okay, roster spot. You know, camp body, get out of here. I don't know. They were talking him up before he said all that. I thought he was supposed to be good. I don't know.
And I'm going to quote the great Tua. They're just keyboard warriors, and if like I bet you what you call it, he says, "Hey, if I can't hear them, I don't give a fuck what they got to say." So
exactly, he's laughing at that shit. What are they going to do? Cut him? Oh, cut me. If he's good and we're cutting him for that kind of shit, then he's going to go be good for somebody else. I mean,
they cut him. He'll be on the Patriots the next day.
Exactly.
Or Minnesota.
Nah, the Patriots always skip him up because then they want all the info that he got while he was there, and a disgruntled player will probably give it up.
Yeah.
Q's laughing says, I'm getting backup DB money. Precisely what I predicted you all would say.
I wish I was getting backup DB money.
Yeah, diminish the man. That's what they do.
I wish I was getting backup punter money. Fuck.
Fucking A. I'll take backup long snapper money. I can
because I could easily say, oh, all it does is cost backup DB money to get a message out to the public, huh?
Listen, did you see? I sent you a picture. Is Dolphins Twitter going to go at Tyreek Hill now?
Oh, I didn't see that. What am I doing?
Check your text message. Look what Tyreek Hill said. Tyreek Hill showing support of Lamar Jackson, going at people on Twitter. Are they going to go after Tyreek Hill? No, they're not. They're going, no, he never said nothing. Why are Miami Dolphins players constantly inserting themselves into Lamar Jackson's ordeal? Why is that happening? Why is there all these players all around the NFL that are all buddy and friends with each other aren't saying nothing on the Lamar Jackson situation, yet Miami Dolphins players are consistently piping up in the Lamar Jackson circumstance? Riddle me this.
Yeah, man, I love Greg. Hold on, I got to highlight this comment.
I can't see the screen because I'm driving around. And
he said he wants Tyreek Hill cut now.
I'm doing Hillanon. Even has a nice ring to it.
Man, that's a big. See, Tyreek's cool like that. That's why I like Tyreek.
Oh, yeah, Tyreek gets it.
Okay, y'all remember. Okay, so real quick, there's this old Bugs Bunny cartoon, right? Where he was it wasn't him, it was these two guys that were stranded on a deserted island. And Bugs Bunny was on the island, right? Fucking with them. You know, Bugs Bunny style, right?
Gotcha.
And it got to one point where when Bugs first met them, right? He comes out speaking the native language, right? And he goes on this he goes on this long ass paragraph in the native tongue, right? For like 2 minutes, man. And the subtitles on the screen were like, "Hi, how you doing?" You know what I mean? And then he spits out a couple words in the native tongue, and the subtitles show this big ass paragraph. You get the joke?
Yeah, I got you.
Right. So I'm thinking Tyreek Hill is like the guy that only says the couple things, and it's like whole big old paragraph in your mind. You know what I mean? Whereas Mike McDaniel will spit out this whole paragraph and not really say anything. You know what I mean?
Totally.
That this
100%.
Mike this is like a whole book right here.
Well, it's like if you see the
Dan,
like in the Chinese language, you see two letters, and it means a whole shit. You're like, what the fuck? How the hell do you get all of that out of that one?
Exactly. That was the idea in the cartoon too. You know. Well, yeah, he can speak his mind on anything he wants. I mean, wasn't he out there tossing ball with Caleb?
Yeah, I didn't see Dolphin fans looking to cancel him for that. A guy that the Dolphins could be potentially targeting.
Wow. So, I mean, I don't know. They just got to stop with the nonsense on people, man. Like, really, I feel like just rattling off a bunch of stuff that two and ears won't like to hear just for the sake of doing it because they act like this.
You won't. You won't.
I don't know.
You're
Our points
scared of
per game
2-9.
last year were pretty crappy.
Ooh. That's not a shot at Tua. That's a shot at the defense that didn't stop him and give plays up, Culler. I could sit here and play devil's advocate all day.
I don't know about that.
You know, it's to me, nothing's set in stone, even when it appears to be. Look no further than signings and trades and everything. You know, every Dolphin fan around would have said, yeah, Christian Wilkins is getting his extension. Where is that extension at, Culler?
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? Now there's news coming out that they're way off on the numbers. And I would imagine that to be so. Everyone's sitting here, oh, Christian Wilkins, such a nice guy. He's going to give you guys the friendly deal. You know, it's what I hear about. I hear this. There's creators and people that run on platforms that have this ridiculously stupid narrative. While they sit there and talk about how fucking smart they are and how much they're in the know, which it befuddles me when most of them ain't even been to this goddamn state, much less a fucking in the know of anything. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They don't know shit. They don't know football. They don't know this team.
Wait, but is it because I didn't pull up like my... Yeah, but Capitan, is it because I didn't pull up my draft prospects and like a whole spreadsheet and like
you didn't
show
go out there
everybody
and
who
use,
the best move
you
is?
didn't go there and use the fucking the typical fucking jargon you read off of fucking Madden and listen to a bunch of douchebags talk about stuff. That's what they do. They change the verbiage every couple of years to act like it's something else. It's fucking football. It's been the same damn game.
I mean,
the last
yeah.
80 years.
Am I supposed to like
Anyhow,
do it?
let me land.
Right.
So these guys come out here and try to act like they're in the know. Fuck, I'm totally off topic. You interrupted me and took me right off my fucking thing.
Damn you.
I don't even know what I was going to say now, Culler.
Stay on track.
I can't. You derailed me. Fuck, what was I saying?
Just what you were about to say.
I can't remember now. You fucked me up.
About yeah,
What?
about
About
people
what?
not ever coming to Florida.
Nah, yeah, that was all to illustrate my point.
Right.
God, I can't remember.
I know. I got that today too.
Uh,
I was
but
about to ask a question and I forgot what it was and told him flat out I forgot what it was.
So look, there's a lot of people that roll around as if they're in the know, that they understand football, that they're so fucking smart. And that, it's just like this thing I just heard that, oh, here's Mike McDaniel with his 25-minute long interview answering all these questions. But after the interview, when no one was watching, there's no cameras and no auditory, he confirms that the Dolphins aren't in the race for Lamar Jackson. It's confirmed. We know, blah, 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 blah. I call bullshit. I call controlled narrative. I call, just all that bullshit, man. I'm over it. I get it. If you're a fan of this Dolphins team and you've been a fan long enough, you'll realize that they use the media, or any football team for that matter. They use the media, they use these narratives to control stuff, and rightfully so. They don't need people knowing what they're going to do. They don't need people knowing what their intentions are, because Guess what? The Ravens, as much as they like to protect themselves, the Ravens wanted to control the narrative that they are interested in working it out with Lamar, that they're close to working it out with Lamar, yada, yada, yada. But everyone else in football, everywhere, knows that relationship is completely spoiled, and Lamar wouldn't play there at all. He'll take their money, but I doubt he'll be on the field any longer than he foresees that, service is rendered for the money I've been given. But everyone knew the contrary, all down to the bottom. And then now at the offer table, when people are sitting across, when Chris Greer and others are sitting at the table with DaCosta and others, and they're discussing what they believe to be a value for a trade piece like Lamar, Chris Greer and other guys can go, you know what? I don't think that's what he's worth, and sweat you out and wait you out, because every day Lamar doesn't get traded is a day in which the value in which they can get for him goes down.
Yep.
If
but
that's
all.
draft,
But the problem with that is it's also the likelihood of him wanting to play goes down too.
No, I don't think his likelihood of him wanting to play will ever go anywhere. The guy has been a super hard work ethic dude, and wants to be a winner. What I say is, I wouldn't want to play if any quarterback who feels, or any player who feels that they, I remember what I was going to say now. Any quarterback who feels that they aren't being given their worth, or any person in their job, you're not happy at your job, and you're only going to do that shit for as long as you feel like, fuck this, and then you start looking for other opportunities. And if the other opportunity of you want to go where you want to go and make the money you want to make, that's it. And if you can't go to where you want to go, but you can still make the money you want to make, you'll take that next. But when you're unhappy, you're unhappy.
Right.
I remember what I was going to say about the Christian Wilkins thing. All these people in the know about Christian Wilkins will definitely take less money, blah, 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 blah. Well, now we're finding out that they're off on the contract numbers, that Christian Wilkins was going to give us some hometown discount.
Yeah, that was something I wanted to touch on earlier that I completely forgot about, was that
but now
all
Culler,
of a sudden,
I hear from dumbasses in this fan base, absolute morons who think that they're fucking so smart to say something as ignorant that Tua's going to do us a fucking discounted price. He's going to get like $40 million a year. He's not going to be one of these guys that are going to do. How the fuck do you know? If come year 5 and it's during that year, and the draft coming out in 2026 looks like shit, and you know that there's no Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jacksons or Deshaun Watson's coming available, guess what? He fucking knows it too. I've got you over a barrel. I'm going to take you for everything you got. And y'all think he's some fucking nice guy going to give you something cheap? No, you're an idiot for thinking that. You're a dumbass for saying it aloud on platforms, and you show how little you fucking know about football and even less about business. You don't know shit about business. You don't know how to close a deal, how to start a deal, or how to run shit. You sound like a fucking moron when you talk like that.
Yep.
So I'm sick of hearing Tua's going to do us a fucking solid. Tua and his camp knows that this check, this fucking paycheck that they're going to get when it comes time from either the Dolphins or anyone else might be the only one he gets. Because you know why? Because that's the only one anyone gets is the one you're getting today, not the one you're going to get 10 years from now.
And the sad fact of it is, though, if we continue to take the medicine and accept it, then we're going to be desensitized to giving him that bag down the road, because we sit here and just say, oh, well, he'll get better. He'll get better. He'll get better. If that never happens, they're still going to give him the bag along the way.
Yeah. And they're going to give him
a la Ryan Tannehill.
That's right, Culler. Perfectly illustrated. Yeah. Okay. It might be only $38 million a year guaranteed. But so what? I'd rather give him $55 million a year guaranteed because he earned it and will earn it.
And that it brings up a good point. People talk about, oh, he's going to want $50 million, right? Okay.
I hope he's worth
people
it,
forget, but people forget that we're giving up another $50 million for the player. We're giving up $50 million and taking off 25 for the guy we already got. We're only spending an extra $25 million.
You know who agrees with what I just said, Culler? You want to know who agrees?
That's
Mike
one
McDaniel.
player.
Mike McDaniel agrees
right
with what I just said. If you don't believe me, go watch his last interview. Go watch the episode in which I broke down the interview. I believe you were with me, right, Culler? That was on Sunday, right?
Yep.
And he literally said that you want the best athlete, best player at the best positions, quarterback being the forefront, and that sometimes these guys even have 40% of your overall fucking football budget, but they are worth it. He didn't say how much more of an advantage it was. The question he was asked was, how much more of an advantage do you have with a guy on a rookie deal? He said, well, those guys getting paid the big bucks deserve it and and are the best players. And if I would love to have one of those guys that are getting the fucking $55 million a year, he don't give a shit how much money it's costing. He's giving a shit about how to win football games. And guess what, guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, and those who identify as something other than those things I just said, that's how you win football games.
Yeah. Long term and against tough opponents with stuff on the line.
You want me to tell you how you lose football games? By settling and saying, well, at least this quarterback, I know he's not worth the elite money, but we're going to pay him what he's worth. And then we're going to try to build a super team around it. I've seen this organization fail at that time and time again, Culler. It's a fucking sham. You know what that is? It's a repackaged bag of dog shit.
Sure is. It sure is. Did I lose you guys?
I'm uninterested in it. Now, look, if Tua comes out and lights it up, takes the Dolphins, plays a full year healthy this coming season, Dolphins then start with some contract extension talks. He comes out in his fifth year, first quarter of the season, he looks or just as great. Giving him an extension will be worth the money, and you don't want to go, hey, quarterbacks are making $50 million, but I'm gonna fucking pay this guy $35. What a deal. I'm not looking to go cheap and bargain bin my quarterback. If anything, go most expensive you can because he's worth every fucking penny.
Exactly. So while I got you guys here, I'm going to try to do this where I can split screen it and share my other screen. We'll start completion percentage. That's where I'll go. Okay. So this is kind of meant to help understand why I'm in a little bit of a not disagreement, I should say, because I know that what Chris Sims is saying about Lamar Jackson's jealousy or obsession with Deshaun Watson getting that contract. I guess what I'm saying to Chris is here could be reasons why. I guess is what I'm saying to Chris. Okay. Let me share this. I think it'll let me do the whole screen over there. Yep. Cool. So I can just share my whole other monitor. Okay, cool. So on the wait, maybe I can do this if nobody saw it. It's going to show anyway. Okay. So on the right is Lamar Jackson's career stats. On the left, Deshaun Watson. And I've got it starting with completion percentage because the other stuff is kind of, stylistically is not really the type of their quantity numbers and not comparable. We're talking about roughly the same number of seasons because obviously Deshaun, has sat out a full season over two of them that he didn't complete. And so you're looking at, a huge yardage difference, which obviously is made up by running from Lamar Jackson. Okay. And that's about it. You start to look at things like touchdown percentage, career, 5.8 for Deshaun Watson, 6.1 for Lamar Jackson. Interception percentage, 2.3 for Lamar and 2.1 for Deshaun Watson. 599 first downs completed by Lamar. 752 for Deshaun Watson. Now that's passing only. A career long of 83. He's had 74, 83, and 75. Career long for Deshaun Watson, 77. He's had longs of 72, 73, and 77. Yards per average. Yards per attempt. 8.2 for Deshaun over his career, 7.6 for Lamar. Yards per catch, 11.6 for Lamar Jackson, 12.2 for Deshaun Watson. Yards per game, 260 for Deshaun Watson, 174 for Lamar Jackson. That's passing only. Career 96.7 passer rating for Lamar Jackson and a career 102.3 from Deshaun Watson. Lamar Jackson's topped out at 113.3 in his MVP year. And Deshaun Watson had one for 112 and then two for 103. Very short seasons. Lamar Jackson's been sacked 132 times in his career. Deshaun Watson's been sacked 194. I mean, one guy gets $200 billion and whatever and change, and the other can't get a job beyond $32.4 million a year with the Ravens. And we're going to talk about style difference and, he can't pass the ball, and, he this and that and the other. I mean, I'm not saying the owners, care whether I pull this information up or not. It's the people that are allowed to think for themselves in our community that ignore what I just pulled up. That's what gets to me.
What do you mean? You're allowed to think for yourself since when?
No, that I can pull up this information and literally show you that objectively they're virtually equal quarterbacks. Yet one gets all the can't do nothing with him nonsense, and the other gets a $250 million contract.
I was gonna say, thinking for yourself. Holy crap! You're now that you're going to
Right, exactly. We talk about, or it's been talked about, oh, he's been injured. Well, where's DeShon been?
Which one? You talking about DeShaun Watson or?
Yeah. Where's DeShon been? I don't think I need to pull the pages back up, but Lamar Jackson has been in the league 5 seasons. DeShaun Watson has played 5 seasons, been in the league 6.
Hey, by the way, you know what I just think
Hold on. Lamar Jackson has started 61 games and played in 70. Okay. DeShaun Watson has started 59 games and played in 60. And you want to talk about availability in 5 seasons of play?
Yeah, DeShaun Watson missed two. Only played his first 2 seasons. He missed half the seasons. His first 2.
You know what I call that? Shake when you're in the overall macro debate about this. Oopsie. Didn't see that one coming, did they? Let's talk about availability. And I'm not even saying he should get what DeShaun Watson got. I'm just saying, why are they diminishing the man? Come on, Dolphin time. I mean, you can say that about anybody, bro. What your Dolphin time respect, buddy. Thanks for the comment. Says, and I missed a super chat earlier. I got to check it out. What happens when Lamar wants more money again? He going to sit out for the Dolphins? Is he going to promise us Super Bowls as well and then demand more money? I mean, maybe. I mean, you literally could say that about any player. What's the purpose of taking a chance on any of them if none of them can be trusted like that? And if that's the issue, if that's what the vibe the teams are getting, then maybe that's a vibe Lamar's putting out. I don't know. I've never met the man personally. It's always struck me to be a quiet, humble guy, other than in his personal life, and that's only because people pry into it. I mean, I don't think he's out there like that, per se.
And let me have a question, Culler. You think I think I got to the root of the problem. See, the reason they don't like Elliott is because his first name is DeShon, and as soon as he hears DeShon, he's gonna get Flores flashbacks.
I thought of a weird angle like that too, man. I wasn't sure though. I know I missed this super chat, man. I'm not gonna let it go. I'm obsessive like that. Saw Anthony. How's it going, Anthony? Geraldo, how you doing? Where is that freaking thing at? It's eluding me, Shake. So yeah, I just wanted to pull up those 2 pages just to illustrate that what we're talking about is such a slim margin difference. The line is so fine between Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson. I think it is understandable. This is the whole point I was making. Is that I think what Chris Sims said about him maybe being obsessed with that in particular, I don't disagree as a possibility. And I'll further Chris Sims by saying, and I think Chris Sims may have said this too, I don't remember, but he deserves to feel that way. I mean, he absolutely has a right to feel that way. You know, based on, these 2 pages I'm putting next to each other. I mean, I don't want to go through the exercise of putting his page up next to it. Oh, one of the things I wanted to point out too on this that I didn't was there was another one striking to me that I didn't think was a reality until I saw it. I'm still looking for this super chat. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe I did get it, but if I didn't, I am so sorry to whoever did it and I missed it. I feel bad missing it. And if you tell me it was you and you're not joking, I will thank you profusely and pull up your next comment exclusively for nobody. Anyway, yeah, I don't think I'm going to find it. Okay, so record. Career. Now we talk about what is his record? 21-13, is that what it was? Shake?
I don't know, is it when last year? Or
just overall? Overall.
I don't know.
I think it's 21-13 or something like, or 24-13 or something like that. Which people are right to say is a decent. Yeah, they're right to say it's a decent record. You know, whatever. 3 seasons, okay, fine. And I wanted to point out that, we throw out Lamar's got a career record of 45-16. Now I know, obviously 2 more games. I mean, 2 more seasons. But remember, look at the loss category.
By the way, I'm sorry,
the 2 extra seasons might explain the double the wins, but what explains the fact that Tua is only 3 losses away from being where Lamar's at in half the number of seasons on the loss column? So anyway, putting that aside, to be fair, I wasn't comparing to Tua. We were comparing to Deshaun Watson, right? Deshaun Watson's career, 31-28. Now, I don't know where AB is at right now, but he might roll over hearing me say this. But it's fair to put Tua's record up against Deshaun than it is Lamar Jackson. That's crazy. Now let's talk about what he did in the playoffs. Because it's my favorite thing to talk about, a guy that's like 14 years old playing in the NFL, making it to the playoffs in the first place. I know I'm exaggerating, but it's to illustrate a point. How about dude in the playoffs? Oh, I've heard it all, Shake. I have heard it all, dude. I mean, I have absolutely, completely heard it all.
What's that?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shake. I was trying to get to it as quick as I could, man. Or whoever did it. Well, you're the only one here, Shake, so it must have been.
Yeah, that was me. That was me. Did it go through? I didn't see it go through.
What's that? What's that?
Oh, did we shorten it?
I don't know.
What happened?
I don't know.
I think
What's that? Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
Dude, I ain't gonna lie, man. When I first got the controls and I saw the memes, I was like a kid at a candy store, man.
I mean, to me, it's like playoffs. Well, I just hope we can get all 53 of our guys there. And they want to they want me to talk about Lamar Jackson's 1-3 playoff record. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Now, I get what they're saying. Playoff record is what makes somebody, okay, fine. If you're talking that big of money, okay, fine. You might be fair in saying that that's a criteria for you, that you weight that in a little higher average, and maybe the owners do too, to say, you know, if we're really going that kind of splash, but then you also want to ignore inflation and what really this splash is going to be in 4 years. When one of these quarterbacks lands a freaking $1 billion contract. I mean, it's coming, folks. Maybe not in 4 years, but it's going to be big in 4 years. Was it big 4 years ago? Or I should say, is it bigger now than it was 4 years ago? Well, that's why Roger Goodell keeps getting re-signed and keeps getting pay increases. So yeah, it is bigger than it was 4 years ago, and it's going to be bigger again in 4 years. We're coming out of the pandemic. We're coming out of 2-3 years of solid stagnance on in the economy overall, in the macro. I mean, you all give money hand over fist to these YouTube content creators, all of them but me for some reason. I don't know why. Shout out to the couple that have today. Thank you very much. We're at the 2-hour mark now, and I forgot to do the rundown at the 1-hour mark, Shake. So everybody like, share, subscribe. Make sure you're hitting the notification bell. Like this stuff. I've got one more topic to get through, and then I'm hoping I got to check my text messages for the answers. But Shake's right here. Maybe he knows. Y'all planning on following up with something? I mean, I don't mind. Like, I think it'd be perfect to segue to a panel. Keep the shows separate. That way, if somebody says something that YouTube don't like, we don't get ruined on both of them. You know what I mean? But I'll raid people over there. We'll set it. We'll time it right where I'm ending right when the panel starts up. So just confirm with me with DTA, because dude, I can do multitasking, but then when it comes to adding my phone into the mix, I'm like totally missing all these text messages you guys are throwing.
I don't think I have. I don't know about DTA. I can't confirm, but I know. I just popped in to show my support, man.
Yeah, I mean, after the show though, I was either thinking I could either run a panel, which I really didn't intend to do, or we at the Fins Tailgate could just start up a separate show, exclusive panel show, and they could supplement this one. You know what I mean? As a panel show, you know what I mean? To talk about the things I've talked about, other things, whatever y'all want to talk about. I think Lewis needs me to pull him in. What's up, Lewis?
What's going on, Culler? Shake.
What's up, man? How you doing?
Good, man.
Can't complain.
Nothing. Chilling. Another day in paradise.
I mean, you gotta love the great Lewis coming in to slang that foam everywhere.
Well, Culler, listen.
The rabid dolphin himself.
I think you've made great points on Lamar. Pretty much your last show, this one as well, and it's just a bunch of nonsense, man. Listen, I'm still positive about the actual football team, but what pisses me off is just the way this organization moves. The coach pisses me off in some of the things he says. The fan base for sure pisses me off. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. I think Shake Money had a great point yesterday, Culler, and I don't know if you caught it, but I've been saying it all day. I even told a couple coworkers at work. See, everybody got in an uproar because of what DeShon Elliott said. when they say he recruited Lamar Jackson by saying, Lamar, come to Miami. Well, it's funny because Shake Money brought this up, and I didn't even think about it until he said it. When Tyreek got here yesterday, Tyreek had never taken a snap for the Miami Dolphins. Tyreek got here, and wasn't he recruiting Kareem Hunt because of his time in Kansas City? Was Tyreek Hill basically, because again, DeShon Elliott, when people have told me, well, you can't do that because he's basically asking for Lamar to come in here and take Tua's job. Okay, well, when Tyreek Hill is asking for Kareem Hunt,
Well, so am I.
Agreed, Culler. But what I'm saying, the hypocrisy in the fan base. How is it that Tyreek wasn't calling for Mostert's job? How was it that Tyreek wasn't calling for Myles Gaskin's job? Or
Because
Salvin
it just
Ahmed?
ain't the same. And then lately they've been
Not the
throwing
same.
out the difference in monetary value. It's like, excuse me, $30 million, you know? We couldn't have just done with Jalen Waddle alone.
Right. Oh, it's sickening. When I brought that up, because I use Shake Money's analogy, when I brought that up, they were like, oh, you can't compare Myles Gaskins or Mostert to Tua.
Yeah,
Okay,
but to
let's
me,
take.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, let's take that out. If DeShon Elliott would have came in this year and said, hey, I believe go get Orlando Brown Jr. to replace Terron Armstead because we all know Terron Armstead is going to miss games, and I want a legitimate left tackle. You think they would have attacked DeShon Elliott the same way?
Of course not.
Only with
But that's
Tua.
when they bring up the contract. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
oh,
Yep.
he's peons compared to this deal. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, fine. But Tyreek Hill is making more. Let me put it this way, people. In the long run, our wide receiver one is making more money than our quarterback. Now, some see that as a good business problem. It is if your intention is not to win. I mean, anybody can go buy the cheapest car in the lot. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's sickening. I'm just tired of. I'm
And
over.
well, that's another thing too, Lewis. It goes further than Tua. What's the non-exclusive tender franchise tag for Lamar?
I believe it's 32 million.
32 million. How much did we pay Tyreek Hill?
30.
Are you kidding me?
Good point, Culler. That's another good point.
That's hilarious, dude.
Oh, well, I think you were spot on today. And I couldn't agree with you more. How in the fuck do we live in a world where Daniel fucking Jones is making $40 million, but you're telling me Lamar Jackson should? I agree with you. That what if Daniel Jones is getting 40, Lamar's a $50+ million guy.
And look at that fact right there. Look at the fact right there. Look, Tyreek Hill is making more than the line.
Yep.
Yes, he is.
And Lewis, that's the thing, is that they turn around and claim, well, it's Lamar that won't come off the guaranteed talk in the Deshaun Watson level contract talk. Well, guess what? That's a price of business. And if you're saying you never want to let a guy like that play again because of the money, then I don't want to watch this league.
I agree. It's sickening what's going on with Lamar Jackson.
Message to Roger Goodell. I don't want to watch this league if there ain't somebody willing to pay this man equal money to Deshaun Watson, or at least close to it. Because I get it. I've been on record as saying I think Deshaun Watson is a tad better than Lamar Jackson. You know what I mean? Like they squared up head to head, Louisville versus Clemson. And let's be honest, Lamar had a great night, but Deshaun Watson just took him to school that night. You could argue, well, ACZ versus, well, they were both ACC teams. You know what I mean? Although Clemson is kind of looked at as the most SEC-ish of the teams in the ACC, you know, these days. But then you look at things like Lamar was voted unanimous Heisman Trophy winner?
Yes, he was.
Do you know who else was in that class, in that vote? Or I should say in that poll, because nobody else got any votes. That's what unanimous means. You know who else was in that poll, Lewis?
No, who was it?
Deshaun Watson.
Really?
0 votes for Deshaun Watson. Unanimous Heisman Trophy winner, Lamar Jackson.
Well, I just think it's funny, Culler.
I mean, what are we talking about here, bro?
Oh, well, a bunch of lies and just false claims. Bro, another thing they'll tell you, Culler, is well, Lamar has never thrown for 3,000 passing yards in his career. He's never done it, right? But these are the same people that will tell you that Brian Flores, under his regime, they were holding to a back. Well, why do you think that Lamar hasn't thrown for 3,000 yards? Could it be that Baltimore Ravens offense is holding Lamar back? Could it be that their philosophy in Baltimore is to play defense and run the ball, so a quarterback over there will not be throwing for 3,000 yards? I bet you Lamar Jackson would come to this offense and throw for over 3,000 yards.
Well, I mean,
does anyone want to bet me on that?
I mean, Tua wasn't throwing for nothing more than a pace of 3,800.
Thank you.
Notice I said pace of.
Culler, and what these people don't realize, I think Tua finished with 25 touchdowns or something like that.
Well, I was going to say until this year with Mike McDaniel and what we put together now.
Right.
He threw for, his pace was for more than that this year, but his pace, it's amazing I have to even speak in terms of pace while comparing to a quarterback like Lamar Jackson.
Exactly. Oh, it's just funny to me. Well, Tua had 25 touchdowns and he didn't even finish the season. Yeah, you're right. But take those 6 away from Baltimore. Let's say before the fourth quarter, when he had 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, that means Tua only has 21 touchdowns. Is that a good season? Is 21 touchdowns from a quarterback that everybody's telling me is top 5 in the NFL, is 21 touchdowns good enough for you? With a $30 million receiver? Jalen Waddle that everybody fights Culler and tells Culler, oh, you're wrong for thinking he's a number 2 or number 3 receiver. Is it okay for your quarterback to have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle as his 2 primary weapons and to only have 21 touchdowns? Is that okay with everybody? Because I'm not okay with that.
Now, what did they say he's never thrown for in a single season?
They said they told me, Culler, he's never had a season over 3,000 yards.
That's incorrect.
Hey, Culler, by the way, GTA is going live. I'm confirming the time now.
Oh, great. Let me know when the show's created. That way I can get it ready to raid over. I've only got one more topic left, pretty much, to the audience's despair. But it might take a second, because I'm going to talk about what the actual content of today's show, which everybody always leaves to last. Don't blame me. I learned it from all the people that marketed to us our whole lives. You know what I mean? Just doing what they do. They always like tell you like what you're expecting is always the last thing to come, right? Isn't that how it's supposed to be? Like when the radio guys like, hey, we're playing this song, and that song. Like that song is coming first and this song are coming last. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why they put the milk in the back of the store.
Right. Otherwise, these awesome 91 people wouldn't be watching and waiting for me to talk about whether winning for this team, as constructed, is inevitable. Oh, I'm glad you're here, Lewis, too, because I'm really interested in your opinion on that when we get to it. But before we do, I'm going to finish up the Lamar talk. And point out that statement about him never throwing over 3,000 yards is in fact incorrect. In 2019, he threw for 31-27, 36 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. And that was only in 15 games. So I'm imagining they sat him out before the playoff game. Like that was probably the last game of the season. He probably didn't play. That's what that looks like. He was 13-2 that year, 11-4 the next year. Then he played 12 games, 7-5, played 12 last year, 8-4. And by the way, in that 7-5, 12-game season, he amassed 2,882 yards. So are we gonna be just as fair as we are with Tua and talk about his pace? That's well over 3,000 yards. Well over. He also had 135 first downs that year. In his MVP year, he had 161 first downs gained. That's just in passing. I mean, I could go on and on and on. And all I'm really trying to do, I know a lot of the two-and-ears are thinking that I obviously, because I told them I was doing that, I am advocating until it's not possible anymore for Lamar Jackson to be a Miami Dolphin. That's what I'm doing. But moreover, today was really more, again, about taking the Dolphins off of it and saying, why is the NFL? I know why they are. It's a rhetorical question. How are they getting it away with it? Why are we not speaking up about it? Why are not more people pointing all this stuff out like me?
Are you talking about in general, Culler? Or are you talking about
just in general,
team?
because I don't expect the Florios of the world to do it. I get it. But the people that want to, I mean, and then for certain people to actually speak the opposite of reality is completely a different ballgame too. You know what I mean? Talking about he can't throw the ball and
right.
What kind of style you gotta figure him out. I don't know. You got to account for.
Well, I don't know what style they're talking about, because I thought the only style in sports is winning and losing. And all I know,
I was gonna say, I don't know what the fuck style you call it, but I fucking like it.
Listen, all I know, his style is 45 wins, 16 losses. That's the only style I know.
Exactly. Dude, it's crazy. It's fucking absolutely crazy, man.
The kid is a winner. That's all I know. He's a winner, and I don't know why anybody, and just speaking from the Dolphin perspective, and I'm one of the ones that if we're moving forward with Tua, I think Tua can take us to where we all want to be. But again, I would sound like a hypocrite. It was the same thing with Deshaun Watson. At the end of the day, Lamar Jackson is an upgrade over Tua. And if you can't see that or be a realist to that, then you're just a fucking idiot, and I can't help you.
Yep.
But Lamar Jackson is an upgrade. And I thought that was the objective of any team. If there's an upgrade that you can do to make your team better, you make that move.
Yep.
So why wouldn't Miami be in that boat?
Yep.
Is all I'm saying.
So while we round out that Lamar talk, because I'm about to move into the next segment here, is winning for this team inevitable? I think it could be possible that it is. And that's why I'm a little optimistic, regardless of Tua, Lamar, blah, 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 for this particular year, this particular team. It's just the way in which it has to be done and how confident we can be that it's going to get done. And obviously, your as Lewis just, astutely spoke, you can greatly improve your confidence level with a better quarterback. There's just all there is to it. That's all there is to it. See what I did there?
I did. That was very good.
Wah, wah. Anyway. One other thing I wanted to say on Lamar. I did it the other day, but I'm going to do it again. Career highlights. First team All-Pro, MVP, 2-time Pro Bowl, when the Pro Bowl mattered. NFL passing touchdowns leader in 19. Burt Bell Award, Heisman Trophy winner, Maxwell Award, Walter Camp Award, AP College Football Player of the Year in 16, Sporting News Player of the Year in 16, unanimous All-American in 2016, ACC Athlete of the Year in 2018. I know a lot of these are college stuff, but still. Two-time ACC Player of the Year in 16 and 17. Two times ACC Offensive Player of the Year in 16 and 17. Two-time first All-Team All-ACC. Two-time first team All-ACC in 16 and 17. He is currently in the Louisville Cardinals Ring of Honor. And the number 8, Louisville Cardinals number 8 is retired. So I can tell you one place that Javon Holland will not be wearing the number 8. And that's at the University of Louisville. So,
Agreed.
NFL records include most single season rushing yards by a quarterback, 1,206 in 2019. Our freaking running back this year didn't even have that, dude. I don't even think we had 1,200 by committee, did we?
Rushing yard, well, I think Mostert was at 891. And if you add Jeff Wilson Jr., I think he was at like 600 plus.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, we went over that. Oh,
a lot of yards came.
We made it.
I think as a team we were a little bit over like 1,500. I think as a team.
Now here's what concerns people, and this is always it. Most single season rushing attempts by a quarterback at 176. But that's the year he torched us in the air with 5 touchdowns.
5 touchdowns. Yep.
Most 1,000-yard rushing seasons by a quarterback with 2 in 19 and 20. Most games with a perfect, as I have illustrated 1,000 times, most games with a perfect passer rating in the same season, tied with Ben Roethlisberger at 2. And most games with 100 rushing yards by a quarterback, 12. Now, in all the 12 of them games, he didn't get injured, but somehow he's more injury prone than a guy in Buffalo that puts his head down into linebackers' freaking shoulder pads. Okay. Yeah. Kick rocks with that nonsense.
That's a fact.
Kick rocks with that nonsense.
Culler, and you know what's funny that I heard, I think it was last night. I didn't know this. I completely forgot. But this narrative, when the Tua guys got the word that Miami picked up the 5th-year option, right? Oh, they took their victory lap. Oh, that closes the door on Lamar. We picked up his option. Tua's here for another 2 years. How quickly we forget. You know who had a 5th-year option picked up and then 3 months later was out of the Miami Dolphin building?
Laramie Tunsil.
Laramie Tunsil. So this narrative that, we're out of the Lamar sweepstakes because we picked up Tua's little 5th-year option. That 5th-year option doesn't mean shit. It doesn't hold any water. And I completely forgot about Laramie Tunsil. And when I heard that last night, I forgot who said it, where I heard it from. So shout out to whoever said it. But that's an amazing stat because I was even fooled when we picked up the 5th-year option. I was like, oh, man, that just means we're fucked with Tua. But
it's like this thing. It's like when – and it's so funny because we see it all the time, but everybody just like either forgets because, hey, not all of us should be expected. I don't blame people for forgetting. The average Joe or Jane's forgetting about the nuances of the business that is the NFL. You know what I mean? But for the people that purposely forget or conveniently forget, what you were just saying, it's amazing to me that that's so lost. What were you saying just now? I'm sorry.
About the Laramie Tunsil, about everybody in uproar.
Yeah.
About Tua getting his 5th-year option.
Every once in so often we hear, this manager is expected to be on the hot seat or whatever, or he's not on the hot seat yet, but he's being talked about in the hot seat circles. And then some GM will come out and say, we just extended his contract for 5 years. That's our guy. And then he's freaking out of here the next day.
Absolutely.
Like we've never seen that before.
Right. It's crazy.
They
man.
literally just did that to Jeff Fisher in Los Angeles.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yep.
It's
It's
just
crazy,
crazy.
Culler. It's crazy, Culler.
Now,
Listen.
Sharif, bless his heart, most of the time, came in firing this morning over on Miami Sports Music and was saying that, correcting everybody. Now, he was coming from the standpoint of, I think he's finally at the point where he's not necessarily a two-and-ear, but he doesn't want him going anywhere because he wants the experiment to be finalized so people can shut the hell up about it. You know what I mean? And I get where he's coming from, but it is still kind of contrived. You know what I mean? In my opinion.
Right.
But anyway, he wanted to remind everybody of what picking up the fifth-year option actually did. And it was what I was telling people from the beginning when it first happened. All it does is clarify his value, his current value.
Agreed.
Before they picked up the fifth-year option, it was up in the air. Is he worthy of an extension? There was the MVP talk. Should we be talking about extension or even bothering with fifth year? Or is he trash? Should we pick up his fifth year? Should we even pay him another dime? You know what I mean? That kind of thing, right? But nobody really knew. There was no concrete, this is what it is.
Right.
When they pick up the fifth-year option now, it's concrete. Everybody knows what he's worth now, what he's worth next year, and what he's worth to anybody that would want to take on his contract. All it did was clarify his value and set it in stone currently.
Agreed.
So that when we go to the Ravens and want to do a trade, they know how many years of control they can expect. All we've done by picking up his fifth-year option is say to anybody that wants him right now, you got 2 years of control on the guy.
Yep.
All that did was facilitate a trade. That didn't block a trade. It just facilitates one.
Right.
But I'm called dumb. Or we don't know nothing of what we're talking about over here.
Right. Well, I don't know. Well, I was working yesterday, but Stephen D, I guess, played the Mike McDaniel interview. And then did Mike McDaniel ever come out and say physically that they were off of Lamar and they believed in Tua? Because that's the narrative that's going around.
Well, they're either insinuating it off of what he said, or they're inferring it off of what he said, or like Capitan said, they're claiming that he said something after the live interview that only certain people in the room heard.
Right. See, that's what I've heard a little bit of. And again, that sounds nice, but I don't believe that. And I don't think listening to his interview, because when I was working when Stephen D was playing it, so I was in and out. But once I got home last night, I had some time, I listened to it, and I never heard him say that. I never heard him confirm, we're on to we're out of the Lamar. I never heard that. So I don't know where the fuck people in this community are coming out and saying that, but I'm just going to call BS out on that. Because nowhere in none of those statements in that whole interview that was heard, no, he never said that. So whoever, again, listen, take it for what it is.
This was on Google's, dude. I saw this article on Google's main sport news feed on my phone with that headline. McDaniel confirms Tua over Lamar. I bet it's still on there let's see. Yeah, we're gonna see. I want to get the headline right. I mean, there's another place I can look for the headline, but I don't want to be that obvious.
Right.
What up, Lou? What up, Culler? I got about a few minutes till my phone dies. Lewis,
Chop it up because
Cap, what's good?
I've been hearing this narrative too, Lewis, and I spoke about it shortly before you got on. I watched a 22-minute long or 25-minute long interview with Mike McDaniel. I didn't see him say anything about Lamar or anything like that.
I didn't either.
I've also seen another interview with Mike McDaniel where he did something after at the owners meeting, and he did have a long segment in that interview. A lot of it was about his history and whatever, and how he got there and all this other nonsense and being a head coach and yada yada yada. But then he had plenty of great things to say about Tua, and it was a glowing review. And he re-illustrated on the fact of how he made a tape of all of Tua's stuff and how he thinks he could use Tua and how he feels like it's something special and great. But the narrative that's going around in this community is essentially that, oh, after the cameras were off, oh, after the whatever was going on, then it was quoted and insinuated that they were absolutely only on Tua and completely out on Lamar. And I don't know, bro. I call it complete damage control bullshit. And I also call plenty of people in this community fucking liars. You're a fucking liar, bro. Stop lying. I'm over it.
I second, and I'm gonna put my face on it. I second that fucking opinion.
I'm here with you, dog. What are these motherfuckers at? Where they is?
Bro, stop fucking lying. Like, I'm gonna call bullshit on that.
Stop fucking lying, homie.
Behind closed doors. We heard it when it was insinuated off record. Like, fuck all that.
Mm-hmm.
He never said none of that shit. It's bullshit.
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of these people walking around thinking how smart they are in this community. I'm the smart one. I'm going to teach you things. Fuck you, bitch. If you were so goddamn smart, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. Someone would be paying your punk ass to be that smart. Shut the fuck up. Out of here with your bullshit ass.
Talk to him, Cap. Talk to
Fucking
him.
catch these hands, son. Catch these hands, son. Don't come out here. You know you don't want this motherfucking Capitan smoke. I'll beat a bitch's ass verbally and physically. Fuck around and find out. I'm over it, bro. I'm over it.
Yeah, I agree. It's nonsense. It's complete nonsense.
I can't take it no more. These motherfuckers is a bunch of damn liars. And this and listen, this Dolphins franchise has every intent of pushing your stupid narratives and your stupid dumbasses hyping at the rooftops with your fucking stupidity. Stupids, you know why? Because they don't have to fucking lie. Your ass is lying for them. Bunch of fucking, they're cucking you, dog. They're straight cucking you. I'm over it, bud. I'm over it. I'm over it, dude. And listen, as someone who does have some good insight from being around yonder quite a bit, and Lou, you're a Floridian, Culler, you too. We know how these people get down. They talk, they chirp. You get it. We hear things. We don't talk about
Bleacher
everything
Report,
we hear.
bro. Bleacher Report.
Bleacher Report what?
McDaniel Dolphins absolutely out on Lamar Jackson amid Tua Tagovailoa contract.
The quote in
Yeah,
quotations.
Yeah, I see
in quotations.
But the article goes to read, the Miami Dolphins are, quote, absolutely committed to Tua Tagovailoa as their franchise quarterback and have no plans to pursue a trade for Lamar Jackson, head coach Mike McDaniel said Monday. Quote, that's why you pick up a fifth-year option. That's how you do it, McDaniel said per Joe Shad of the Palm Beach Post. That's why you pick the option up as soon as you know you're going to. So to kind of, as opposed to speaking, having an action, speak to really squash any of that unnecessary.
Are you fucking, hold on, just stop right there. That's what he said in the goddamn interview, goddammit. That's what he said in the interview. That absolute shit.
But at what point though is this the answer to the question? Was did you all hear Joe Shad ask about Lamar Jackson and him answer with that answer?
It's in the interview that they're talking about.
So now we're gonna have to call out bleacher frauds.
Jesus Christ,
bro, it's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous.
Let me just say it, McDaniel, if that's the case. But writing this nonsense, bro, I'm sorry, man. Guess what? That just tells me they're all in on Lamar Jackson. How about that? I play poker. I play poker. I believe the exact opposite of what anybody's telling me.
Oh, for real.
You trying to tell me what you're why you're betting what you're betting? I ain't buying it.
I ain't buying a damn thing, dog. Nada.
I immediately think everything out of a poker player's mouth is a lie.
Listen, here's the deal. Plain and simple. They absolutely picked up his 5th-year option. And absolutely, from today and for the foreseeable future, he is the quarterback.
Yep.
But they could absolutely pivot in any point they feel like.
But you know why I believe every word out their mouth is a lie? Because I already know what their cards are. I didn't need the words out of their mouth to determine what their cards were. So anything out their mouth is a lie. Now, if it happens to match what their cards are, hey, coinky dink. But I already knew what their cards were. I don't need their words to tell me what their cards are. I look at their betting pattern. I look at a whole bunch of other things to tell you they got a freaking 8-9 suited. I don't need their words out their mouth.
Plain and simple. It would be business malpractice to not pick up the man's 5th-year option. You'd be a fool and an idiot. It's a 1st-round draft pick. That's a 5th overall pick. You pick that player's 5th-year option up. That's it. That's it. Buddy had an up year heading into his 4th year. You pick that shit up. What are you talking about? That would be stupid to do otherwise. I'm just saying, I am sick of people taking a quote or a banner or a headline banner and preaching it as gospel and then taking it as, ha, 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 I'm a smart person now because I saw a headline somewhere.
Because I parroted what the organization said.
I parroted what my
9 times out of 10
daddy
I'm
told me
right
to do.
because they have no reason to do something different unless it's
yeah,
a multi-zillion-dollar quarterback deal.
Listen, and listen, it's fine if you're capping, you're trolling, or playing the game how we play around here. But don't sit around as you're some fucking authority around here, like you sitting on some high perch, as if you can't be knocked off, and act like you're some fucking genius for reading some shit that every fucking Dolphins fan that's around these streets got all the apps, see all the same shit you do. Get the fuck up out of here, motherfuckers. Get the fuck out of here.
If somebody is feeding you a bunch of shit or information or whatever, then hey, lucky you. They must like you. Good for you, buddy.
It's the same ordeal when like you say something and it's in speculation. You say, oh, this, that, or the other. They take whatever you're reading, interpret it away, and then say that those are the facts. It is literally, I don't even know, like, people don't know how to read no more. People don't know how to research no more. People don't know how to fucking have an educated guess anymore. People are morons thinking they're learning something from a fucking moron, bro. It's literally how flat earth shit has now gotten a whole deal now. It's literally, you used to get pointed at and laughed at for talking stupid. Now everyone gets a good opinion. You know what? Problem in the world is we got rid of bullies and all these fucking dorks are running around acting like there's something and ain't had the fuck beat out of them, bro. And they need to get G-checked sometimes, bro. That's the reality. Motherfucker got to get G-checked. I'm going to have to start G-checking people for the absolute future of this fucking franchise, future of this fucking country. It's going to have to be a full-on help the world.
Couldn't say it better myself. And you know what, Culler, just to, and Cap, to be honest, this is why I think it's hard, because I do think Tua is going to be here. But let's say, for the sake of argument, for this conversation, Miami was going to make the play for Lamar. You know why they would do it? Because we all know they were in play for DeShon Watson, and they didn't pull the trigger.
They were in play for a quarterback every year, Lou.
They were in play for Tom Brady. We know what happened with that. They didn't pull the trigger. It's hard for me to believe that Christopher Greer and Stephen Ross can be in that building and realize they missed out on 2 quarterbacks. Now there's a third that's available at 25 years old and probably one of the most dynamic quarterbacks that the league has ever seen. It's hard for me to believe that they're not even thinking about making a move in that direction. It's hard for me to believe that.
Lou, I already let everybody know. They've already inquired about it. That's a fact. Whether you want to believe me or not.
I know you did.
Whether people out there want to believe me or not, you can be stupid and ignorant. You motherfuckers don't live in South Florida. You don't know nothing. You don't know people. Most of these bitches talking as if they know some shit don't even live in this fucking state, much less ever even visited this bitch. They don't know a fucking thing about this state.
What I'm saying, Cap, and again, going by what you had said that you had heard maybe that DeCostas was going to reach back out to Chris Greer. They were going to have multiple conversations, right? Why wouldn't Miami do that? That's not something that the closer we get to the draft and the closer that we don't get a Christian Wilkins extension, there's something going on.
Guys, you are listening.
Something is going on.
Coffee with a Cup of Color, and you're listening to Louis the Rabid Dolphin and El Capitan chopping it up. Like and share, everybody. I wanted to remind you that before I go stick some nicotine in my veins while these guys continue to chop it up. Keep liking and sharing. Great conversation. I'm freaking loving it over here, bro. Seriously, you two just chopping it up about that stuff. But I wanted to point something out. First of all, I don't know why I got my afternoon banner going on, but yeah, I'm gonna have to change that. I have to upload this other one real quick. Hold on a second.
Color, the reality is, dog, we out here in these streets, in the place where it's happening, dog, where the real is. We scattered all over this state, TFTG style. If you think we ain't getting the real, you're fucking lying to yourself. And if you're getting what you think the real is from somebody else, you're getting cucked, you fucking idiots. So smarten up, homeboys and girls. Smarten up. I don't fucking go, hey, I want to get my news about Puerto Rico, so I'm going to talk to a guy in Washington State. That's not how this shit work. I find people from Puerto Rico, and I fucking find people that live in Puerto Rico to find my goddamn news. What the hell you mean? Get the fuck out of here. Bunch of fucking idiots. God,
I don't disagree at all. So
I don't either.
To set that off, do we win no matter what we do with Lamar Jackson? Is that why they have this air of sitting on their hands, because they just don't believe that we can't, like,
well, here's something I wonder.
We can't lose, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Do you think they're convinced we can't lose?
Scott Harris, I love Doug. Doug's a good dude. Anyhow, to me, you gotta. Chris Greer has presented himself over and over and over again as a guy who's either gonna look to fucking blame someone else or look to at least have an out. Okay, right now with the overwhelming ringing endorsement from Mike McDaniel has resumed the stamp of approval that he is now tethered to Tua. So if they roll with Tua, say in 2024, and Tua, God forbid, gets like back-to-back concussions, say he gets one in week 4, is out 3 weeks, come back in like week 7 and gets another one, is out for the season, Mike McDaniel will be the one that could potentially lose his job. Look at this fucking raccoon just waltzing down my fucking driveway right now like it's nighttime or something. Get out of here! I see you, bandit! Fuck out of here. Fucking raccoon just waltzing down my driveway. Anyhow, to me, Chris Greer either feels comfortable enough to put this blame of Tua picked before Mike McDaniel, but assumed responsibility of Mike McDaniel on him if it fails, and he'll get out of his job. Or it's probably just, it's the smart play. We have Tua, we got Tua. If the first round of the draft comes and goes, And whether the Ravens take a quarterback in the first round or not, day 2 of the draft, Miami Dolphins have moved up to the number 1 potential landing spot of their. Whether he stays on the Ravens all year, and the next fucking season starts and he's still on there, I'm telling you guys, to me, and it's only going to get uglier with the Lamar Jackson situation from now. As you guys seen, he went ahead, he got ahead of the news, knowing that all the coaches meetings were happening and the GMs and owners meetings were happening. He got in early that morning to make sure that they were talking about him when they were talking with each other, when no one was listening. No, fucking out of here, bro. Ain't no fucking raccoons got me shook, Amicus. I just find it odd that a raccoon's waltzing around as if it's nighttime. It's very uncharacteristic. Somebody might be feeding him. I don't want him to get hit by a car. I don't give a fuck that raccoon. Anyhow, it's it was a savvy business move by Lamar Jackson to do so. I think that Chris Greer, what we know about Chris Greer is that he's not gonna lose a deal. If he's doing business with you, chances are he's winning this deal. And if the first round of the draft comes and goes, say the Ravens get a quarterback in the first round, they're gonna go, hey, Lamar wants to be here. We've already spoken about it. What say you to these circumstances or this trade package? And to me, I feel like that meeting that I told you guys about not only was about what does the Ravens want for a trade for Lamar, what's their asking prices or where it all is, but also I feel like they were getting a feel of what they thought about Tua. That's that's complete speculation on my end, but I don't know because I have no idea how the Ravens feel about Tua. I do know how other organizations feel about him, and a lot of it is very, very bad. Some of it, they're really high on that guy. But what's so funny, Color? Oh, the is DTA going on later after this show, Color? Did he confirm that? Lewis, DTA, did DTA confirm that?
I seen the text message earlier. I haven't reached back.
I forgot
out
I
to him.
used the hard button. Sorry about that. I was saying,
think
first
he
of all,
is.
I'm sorry, Lewis. First of all, there ain't no speculating going on around here. None of that going on. What are you talking about? Speculating. But
Listen, I speak in facts, words, and riddles.
from what I understand,
I will let you know when I'm fucking on full speculatory mode.
So from what I understand, DTA was willing to go. I was just hoping they would, you got maybe create the show before I had to shut mine down. That way it'd be a smooth transition to a panel. And I could lay out, I could already have people juiced up with some topics to talk about.
Yeah. I think that's what he said he's gonna do.
I mean, we're only at 2 hours and 45 minutes right now, so I mean, I'm all right for a little bit longer. I got one more topic to get through in detail, which is obviously winning. Is it inevitable? And we're kind of already getting into that area with what you guys are talking about, but I wanted to bring some numbers to the table real quick to juice up the conversation a little more. Probably will piss Lewis off, but hey, there's no shortage of that. You know what I mean?
Listen, if my phone dies, boys, I'm about to die. So I'm just letting you know.
Last year, 2022, our defense gave up 23.4 points a game. Now that is up from 2021, which was at, where are you at? 21.9 per game we gave up.
How much was it last year?
21.9.
And then
this year it was 23.5.
So
exactly the amount, roughly, that you would expect after McDaniel literally said our defense was going to take a step back.
And you add injury
Right.
insult to
Right.
injury, literally.
Right. Injury to insult. Right.
Same thing.
Right. Right. Now, he's bold enough to say something like that for the same reason he was bold enough to tell Tyreek Hill 2,000 yards, to tell us to play Jalen Waddle in fantasy, to tell Tua and the whole world that he was going to fix all of his problems and everything else the guy said. So I'm sorry, but I don't destroy the defense because they gave up a little more points this year. By the way, that's up from a 3-year average, because let me finish the numbers real quick. Our offense last year found some way to score less points than our defense gave up. We gave up 21.9 points per ball game, and our offense scored a whopping 20.1 per game.
Está no bueno.
Now,
But Culler, Tua would have played all year. It would have been higher.
and Flores didn't know his offense from a hole in the ground. Okay, I get it.
Oh,
So
my
we
God.
bring in McDaniel. Our defense rises to 23.5, and our offense goes from a mere 20.1 to a whopping 23.4. Still less than our defense gave up. Now, you might say, Culler, well, we improved. He said he was going to improve it, and he did. Well, first of all, we only still went 9-8, and we spent how many $1 million? $80 million to make that happen? To gain 3.5 points per ball game? That's a field goal. And our kicker was missing more field goals this year. So how the hell are we only gain a field goal in points per game? Now let's go back to when the benching game was going on, the revolving bench with Tua and Fitzpatrick. Let's go back to that year. Our defense, like always, for the past 3 or 4 years, 21.1 per game they gave up. About what it's been for 3 years.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Our offense, the revolving door that it was at quarterback, scored 25.3 points per game. And I've gone through this a dozen times, Lewis. This ain't news to you.
Right. Yeah.
Why it
I've heard
pisses
this
you off,
before.
because you know it, and you're it bothers you.
Less penalties that year, too, Kenna points out.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Yep. Yeah,
And
for
more
sure.
takeaways and shit like that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm sorry if you all, think that I'm a casual, because I didn't see any improvement year over year still with Mike McDaniel. If anything, you could call that a regression, given what we spent
where
on
we
offense.
can measure Mike McDaniel's improvement? In the quarterback position out of Tua alone. And that is a fact.
Well, we lost him. Now,
Spawn
you
must have
could
cut out.
come back with, first-year head coach and all this stuff. Well, guess what would help a first-year head coach, a second-year head coach? A freaking superstar. That's what would help a second-year head coach.
Very good point.
And you're really not losing much of the paper that we have. Because if you think that winning is inevitable with our paper, how much of a sliver of that paper are you willing to rip off to get a superstar in the building? That's really the question, people. One little sliver of that paper buys us 2 first-round draft picks. And the money to get Lamar. We wouldn't even be going back to a roster like 2020. We wouldn't even be reverting back to that. Yet that roster scored 25 fucking points a game. And you're telling me that even if we give up the same 23.5 points per game we did this year, you're telling me an offense run by Lamar Jackson with this paper can't score more than that?
Kill him, Culler. Kill
Now,
him.
the argument, which is a fair argument, if we don't get Lamar, there's no reason for me to jump off a cliff.
Absolutely.
And that's where I bring in Fangio and what we've done on defense, because it is crucial, that points per game. Because if these people expect us to win this way without bringing in a guy like Lamar and just improving our defense, improving the guy that runs it to a superstar level, because you could argue Vic Fangio is at the Lamar Jackson level of defensive coaching.
Absolutely.
It's fair to say that. But I want to remind everybody that Ravens team, those couple Ravens teams that they keep pointing out with Dilfer and Flacco in the gang, and probably if you looked at most other teams that won that way, which is rare to begin with, but even when it happens, their defenses are giving up 17.6 points per ball game. That's the level Vic Fangio will have to bring our defense to if you guys realistically expect to win a championship constructed with this type of quarterback. That's all I've ever been saying, bro.
No,
And I just don't think that's possible. That is like, talk about, rolling the dice and pulling the freaking slot lever, dude.
Yeah. That's basically a touchdown a game, Culler. We gave up what you said, 23.4. Those quarterbacks gave up 17. That's basically 6 points. That's a touchdown a game. This defense would have to be better.
And guess where we have to play this year? Obviously, Buffalo.
Philadelphia, I think. Washington, I think we were up
and
there.
Arrowhead.
Baltimore again, Arrowhead. Good point.
You think our defense is really going to keep it down to 17 a game? I don't care how good we are. You could argue with our schedule that 20 points a game would be Hall of Fame level.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Because it really doesn't matter, Lewis. The Kansas City Chiefs gave up 23 a game this year, and their offense scored 29.
Exactly.
And we took away their second best weapon.
Right. Yep.
I just don't get this mentality that we can, hey, let's do it. Well, that's all I can say. But again, I am here to advocate for Lamar Jackson becoming a Miami Dolphin. I don't care what anybody says. Until it is not possible, that's what I'm going to advocate for.
I hear you.
You know,
you ain't going to get no pushback from me.
If I don't have one viewer anymore after it's all said and done, Lamar Jackson will know that. He'll probably be the only one.
That would be stupid anyway, Culler, and I don't think that will happen. You'll lose the two guys maybe. But again, the real ones, no. Bro, it's an upgrade for the team. Bottom line. He is an upgrade. Whether you like Tua, love Tua. Listen, I like Tua, and I'll be rooting for the little motherfucker if he plays on Sunday for us, Culler. I'll be there. You know that. But if we're going to sit here and deny
what I don't understand, Lewis, what I really don't truly understand is why we can say that it's probably not going to happen, but say that without having to trash the man by making up reasons why it shouldn't happen.
Agreed. I'm with you, Culler. I am with you 100%. It's sickening what they're doing to Lamar. It's sickening. But listen, we should have
just say you don't want the guy.
That's
for
it.
Whatever. Just say you don't want to win.
That's it. Huh?
Easy as peasy. We all know it.
Well, we do that to anybody, Culler, in this family. Well, not everybody, but we tear down anybody. It doesn't matter. It don't have to be Lamar. We tore down Tom Brady. We were tearing down Deshaun Watson. It would be anybody. Hell, we tore down Skylar Thompson, a 7th-round rookie that no one even expected him to be on the field. Took Again, won a game against the Jets and played very well for his situation.
That played practically 3 games.
In a play color to go to Orchard Park.
I don't even have to go back to Tua's first 3 games to compare. I could go back to the Chargers game of this year to compare the stat line.
1,000%.
That's ridiculous.
1,000%. 1,000%. And we shitted on him. So it's not a
Now,
Lamar
wait a minute.
thing.
Let me finish. Let me reiterate that. It's ridiculous if you expect me to believe you want to win. It don't have to be ridiculous. Just say you don't want to win. They all act like I want to be ridiculous.
Right.
I'm only ridiculous because they say they want to win.
Yep.
If they said they didn't want to win, I'd be like, well.
There you go. That's it.
Yeah, that's exactly what we should do. Yeah.
Go team. That's the end of the argument right there. Exactly. Yeah.
Amazing to me, bro. Amazing to me.
Talk to the masses. Talk to them.
You know, is winning inevitable, bro, with this roster? I just don't believe it is. I believe it can be.
Right.
I think winning's possible. Probably even likely. But inevitable? Lamar Jackson gets you inevitable, bro.
I mean, you're not going to get pushed back from me, Culler. You're definitely not going to get pushed back.
And even if you never win one with him, you're always going to be in a state of inevitability. That was the difference with Dan Marino.
Correct.
No, we never won one. We get that. But we were always in a state of inevitability. And had he held out for 2 more years, hell, we might still be seeing him sling the ball on these soft-ass freaking rules. So, yes, it can be inevitable, even though it never happened. It was inevitable at the time. At least that's what it felt like.
Jesus Christ. Ask Harris in the chat. Did you see that comment?
I haven't really been watching anybody. Shame on me, because they've been great. We got 82 people watching right now. I'm freaking proud of them.
Shout out to all of them. Yeah, shout out to all of them for sure. But I just think that S. Harris comment is ridiculous. Talking about middle of the pack. Yeah, of course. Look at the teams. Look at the team under a Brian Flores-led team that you guys said couldn't have an offense. Average 20, and it's just no. I don't believe it was that one. It was when he was going points per game. I think he was coming at your 25 points a game, Culler.
From 2020, you mean?
From 2020.
It wasn't my 25 a game. It was Ryan Fitzpatrick, Tua's, and Shan Gailey's. That's who it was.
Absolutely. But he was making the point, Green Bay averaged 31 a game. Kansas City was at something. And he was saying, they were middle of the pack. Yeah, middle of the pack. Were we middle of the pack this year, S. Harris? With Tyreek Hill, the $30 million receiver?
Oh, he's saying the year we scored 25, those guys were at 30-something in middle of the pack.
And we were middle of the pack.
Who won the Super Bowl in 2020?
Was that the Buccaneers? COVID year? I believe that was the Bucs.
Who'd they beat?
Kansas City. But remember, Kansas City's whole O-line.
I don't need, you know me. That's not why I'm bringing it up.
Right. No,
how many times has Tua been in the playoffs?
None.
See, this is how they do it. We just move into a completely different argument, like that he don't even belong in because he's never been there. I don't get it. It's just like when they bring up Lamar Jackson's playoffs. He's 1-3. What winning percentage is that? Like what? 1-3. That's 25%, right?
25%. Yeah.
Tua's is 0.
Exactly. Bro, Tua's supposed to be the leader, right, Culler? He's been the leader of this team for the last 3 years. He's not even the quarterback on the roster that has playoff experience.
That's what I'm saying.
That's Skylar Thompson, a 7th-round rookie. That's
exactly what I'm saying. I'll never understand it, bro. I mean, I understand it in the fact that it's just pure sycophancy, so I get it. You know what I mean? But sycophancy for one man is just like, I don't know. It's gross to me, really, to be honest with you. It's childish and gross.
It is gross. Well, they protect them, Culler, and they make every excuse in the world for them. And which I don't, bro. Tua doesn't know these people from a can of paint. Tua doesn't care about these people. What they worship him and cherish him and kiss him to bed at night and tuck him in and worry about his feelings. Nobody, like Tua doesn't worry about y'all the way y'all worry about him. Tua, for all the defenders of Tua, right? When was the last time you seen a tweet from Tua saying he cares about y'all?
Right,
when have you seen Tua come out on a platform and say, "Oh, I love my fans"? And never. He don't care about y'all.
When has Tua even come out and said anything lately?
Yeah, he's been ghost, Culler. He's definitely been ghost. But it's these sicko fans that have this obsession with Tua, and that guy doesn't know y'all from a can of paint and don't give a shit about none one of y'all. But this is the guy y'all want to clamor for. And again, see, Culler, the problem is, and I would never want to question anybody's fandom because I think we all love this team. But there's certain people in the fan base that worry about the name in the back of the jersey instead of the fucking logo. And with me, I fell in love with this fucking logo, and I will always be in love of this fucking logo. I've seen players that I've loved, Culler, leave and go other places and succeed or retire or whatever. And I'm still with this fucking logo. And there's certain people in this fucking community that as soon as Uno, the Oos, is out of here, they're fucking out of here. And those are the fucking people that we're talking about. Just leave fucking already. Let us go get the quarterback that most of us want and just let us fucking be already. They got a stranglehold on this organization and this team, Culler, and it's sickening. And I'm sorry for going in a little emotional color.
No, you're good, man. You're good. You're good. I'm checking up on something that S. Harris is coming back with because I don't buy it. Top in the league was Green Bay at 31.8. Yeah, there were a lot of teams that were at 28 and above per game scoring in 2020. Yeah, okay. And let's see. We'll go about from 28. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now let me advance to 2021. Five, if you include the one for 27.9. Okay, we'll call that 28. So that's 5. Yeah, I'm stretching a little. But let's go to this year. And it's only 3 more, by the way. Yeah, this year there was only 4 at most. Yeah, scoring's a little down. And we've gone down right along with it. Just like everybody else. We rose a little this year when everybody else fell. So we've stayed the same. And we got the same record for it. What you fail to point out is that, you know, while Kansas City in 2021 scored just about or gave up just about the same as much as we did, same with this year, and dare I say, same with 2020. Let me look real quick. Both teams in 2020, 22.6 for them, 21.1 for us. So they've been on the same average as us, 21 points per game given up, and they increased this year just like we did. Yep. Yet every single year, let's do their offense now. 2020, 29.6 per game. 2021, 28.2. 2022, 29.2 leads the league. And they lost Tyreek Hill, whom we gained.
Yeah.
and paid
Oh,
$30
my
million for.
Oh, man.
I'm sorry if I'm being naive here. I really am. I just want to score more points per game. Defense be damned. And I'll leave it with that, man. I don't know. Did we get the other show created yet or not? Or are we just going to wing it? And
I don't know. I mean, if you got to go color, I mean,
we're at the 3-hour mark. I mean, and that was my last topic really, was whether winning was inevitable. And I do want to do the rundown real quick. I want to remind everybody to like and share, encourage you to like and share. And I'll also encourage you to hit the notification bell so that you know when we do go live, in case, it's not as regimented in a given week. So, when you go live, that's what it tells you. We're coming out with recordings all the time, pre-recorded stuff, shorter episodes, you know what I mean, that you don't want to miss. So make sure you're hitting the notification bell. Subscribe if you haven't. Well, you have to subscribe to hit the notification bell, I believe. So, well, maybe not. I don't remember. To be honest with you, I don't really care. It's their gig. Now that I changed to the right background, which is, by the way, the cafe, the Culler Cafe. But make sure, everybody, you're hitting the link in the description below for Fanatics. They've got all the official gear you need from the NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, MLS, all of them, all officially licensed. Make sure you're hitting up Backroom Collections, hashtag TFTG at checkout for 10% off. And I've got to do this real quick because I don't, no, not that one. No, that one. I got to do this because I need this banner for ZSM Sports, proud sponsor of the TFTG network. Email them over at zsmsports25@gmail.com. They are South Florida's #1 sports memorabilia and private signing agency, currently working, I believe, still with Zach Sealer. So get on the horn if you're in Broward area. Even if you're not, it don't cost no money for long distance. 954-980-5801 in the Broward area. And, of course, the socials down at the bottom, Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you're hitting them up. Also, Doobie. Energy products, drinks, all that stuff. Did I leave anybody out, Lewis? Oh, our gear. That's right. Got to check out our stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely get one of them coffee mugs. I got to get one for myself because, Tua broke my Dolphins mug.
Fucking punk.
But we'll leave that alone for right now. Make sure you're getting a flag. It's nice. It's big. It's quality material. Ali confirmed it. He's got one. He just got a flagpole to fly it high at the tailgate come Sunday. We got plenty of flip-flops for CB83. And make sure you're catching all the great content. El Capitan with the Fins tailgate just about every night of the week, if his job doesn't destroy his physical ability to do it. You got, as you can see, the rabid Dolphin Lewis coming in, throwing the foam around, throwing it everywhere. And DTA, King DTA with the Dolphins debrief and War Room episodes. We're trying to get into follow up with a panel today. That'd be really cool for you all to talk about all the nonsense that I said and speculated and yelled about. And if you want to support the channel, besides liking and sharing and all that good stuff, you can hit us up on Cash App, $, the Fins Tailgate, or the Fins Tailgate on Venmo, plus super chats, super stickers, and all the like. 3 membership levels for YouTube memberships. Make sure you're getting their premium subscription too, so you don't have to see, these. The people that don't have YouTube premium subscription know what I was just talking about. And if you want to tip your, I haven't said it because I kind of, it's not always my place, but because I do want our network to grow. But if you want to tip your boy Culler, just hit me up at $CullerCom, CULLERCOM on Cash App, or you can buy me a coffee, since it is coffee and a cup of color. And that would be at buymeacoffee.com/colorcom. I've already had a few people. I'm up to like $42 or something.
Sweet.
Plus, Pete threw in a couple cups through Cash App and kind of directed it that way. But so yeah, it's cool. I could always use it. Weed's expensive. So is the license.
Yes. I won't disagree.
I'm going to do a poll. Is weed expensive? People are going to be like, nah, Culler, you got to get the discount on Tuesday and Wednesday at this place and Thursday and Sunday at this place. And like, yeah, right on. I almost got away with a free jar altogether today, man.
Really?
Yeah, but I didn't have as many reward points as I thought I did.
Yeah.
I was going in there thinking, man, look at this. I'm going to walk out. I'm going to be like, give me my jar. Still had to pay $20. I'm like, damn.
Oh, that's not bad.
Well,
Not bad, though. Yeah,
relatively speaking, growing up, having to buy it elsewhere in my adult life,
Yeah.
But I appreciate you coming by, man. I hope I didn't upset too many two-in-ears out there.
Culler, listen, I probably upset them too. Listen, at this point,
I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Okay. Listen,
I am here to advocate for Lamar Jackson becoming a Miami Dolphin. That's what I am doing until it is not possible to happen anymore.
That's your right. And that's your right. Again, the people that want to upgrade Tour or believe in Tour, and that's fine. They have their opinion. This is ours. It is what it is. We keep it moving.
Yep. But, and then when it's over,
it's over.
Go to it. I mean, what do you want me to say?
Absolutely.
But hey, without that being said, I'm going to cliffhang it right here, man, because
do your thing.
You got a pretty face, man. You know what I mean? And
I'll try, Culler.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're just dapper as all hell, bro. So I got to end the show with you up here, man. I mean, how can I not take advantage of that, man?
That'll work.
It would be marketing malpractice for me not to end the show with you up here, bro.
There you go. You would be like Chris Greer not trading for Lamar Jackson.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah. So everybody, fins up. Grab yourselves a cup of coffee. Take your Keurig machine. Get your little dab scoop, right? Scoop some keef into okay, so you puncture the hole with the Keurig, right? Into the cup, right. of the coffee, right? Then you lift it back up, it makes a little hole, right? Then you just take the little dab spoon up a little keef, drop it right in that little hole. Let it run the hot stream right over it, pre-brew, dude, through the coffee, boom.
Jesus Christ, look at it. Secrets with color commentary in the afternoon. Right there, boom.
That's called keefy.
Hey, that was good, Culler. I can't lie. That was good.
About 20 minutes after drinking a cup, you're just, you know what I mean?
I hear you.
Doesn't slam you, but you definitely know it's there.
You got a nice little, yeah, absolutely. Take the edge off a little bit.
Especially if you build up some good keef. I mean, if you ain't rocking with the junk,
Right. Yeah, for sure.
It's all this weed talk, man.
It's all your fault.
Epilepsy awareness, guys. Fins up. Yeah. Appreciate every one of you. All 60 of you still watching us towards the end. You're going to get the outtakes. You got them before everybody because you watched live. Thank you to everybody in chat. I know I was neglecting everybody in chat today, bro. I usually am way more interactive in chat, but I did want to say thank you to guys like Amicus, Scott Jackson, Cat for Life, Fanatic 305, Carroll City 305. Love you all locals, man. Andres Negron.
Dolphin Realtor, I see.
Dolphin Realtor, make sure you're hitting them up for all your real estate needs. That 70s Show 1. S. Harris, as much as you can't stand me, whatever, man. Appreciate you coming by, always keeping me in check, keeping me honest. Timothy Eason, who I suspect might actually be a family member of one Tony Eason, but I haven't confirmed it yet.
Uh-oh.
Which means that you can't take any of his quarterback takes seriously, dude.
Mm.
I mean, look. Tony Eason, if you're not familiar with him in his career, there we go. That much better than Chris Sims, dude. Chris Sims.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Just
So, yeah.
to think that man went ahead of Marino. Jesus Christ.
No offense, Timothy. I know you don't have no relation to Tony. I'm just kidding, man. But Crypto, I saw you in here earlier. California. I think I said hi to California. Anyway, Scant Dollar. Chilling name. Anybody I missed? Mark. Look at that. You're welcome, Culler. What did you do for me now, Mark?
Mark's been with that nonsense, man.
Has he been doing that all day everywhere? Just walking around telling everybody you're welcome. I'm here. I'm here now. You're welcome.
Earlier. I don't know. He's being nonsense. He still believes Buffalo's the king of the division. And I don't care if we get Lamar or we have Tua. It's time for Miami to take over this division. So Mark and Amicus and Michael K and the rest of you Buffalo Bill fans, just get over it, man. Just come over to the dark side. We'll welcome you.
I'm telling you. You know, that reminds me. I said it great yesterday. It's like, it's one thing. Okay, it's fine to be like, yo, when I'm talking to a Buffalo fan, Tua is God. I'm sorry, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine to be talking up what he does well.
Right. Agree.
But we as Miami Dolphin fans already know what he does well. What am I doing? But so I said earlier in Stephen D's chat, I said, talking to a fellow Dolphin fan about what Tua does well is like thanking your mailman for delivering the mail.
Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, it's his job.
Yeah.
Am I going to tell you what he's doing good in his job? That's what do I need to tell you that for? You already know. It's the other crap you're denying. It's his deficiencies that you're denying people. I mean, if you want me to just sit here and blow sunshine up your ass all day, then fine. There's 1,000 channels that are already doing that. Cut me some slack. You know, come around, watch your boy Culler. Just realize sometimes I'm on, sometimes I'm off on takes. Sometimes I'm spot on, sometimes I'm crazy. But I'll always be logical, man, and I'll always be trying to come from a place of education, even when I'm giving my opinion. So y'all, fins up. Thank you, Lewis, once again, man. I'll be seeing you all out afternoon, I'm sure, man. Keep dry. It's starting to drizzle out there. I don't know about up your area. Drive safe, man. Looks like you're
little. Yeah, I just got home for a little bit. I cut the day off because when I'm working, I work the day shift, but I do control at night as well. So I came home, take a little break, and shoot back over there later on tonight.
Right on.
But always
get
a pleasure.
Under DTA's ass. Get him and get that show going on.
I'm trying so I can hop up with him a little bit. I think he said he was gonna go live. I know Shake's getting ready at like 6 o'clock. He said he'll be ready. So listen, everybody, thanks for coming through, showing Culler love. I'm sure Culler will be either backstage or with us somehow.
In chat, floating around. You know, I can't get away.
Bro, TFTG goes everywhere anyway. We're in the chats. We're on Miami Sports Music. We go. Well, I won't say everywhere, but we're around. I'll just say that. We're around.
I mean, I'm starting to dude, I don't think I've worn anything but Dolphins gear outside my apartment in like 6 months, dude.
I hear you.
Like, this is how I went to have breakfast this morning.
You're a real one, Culler. Don't let no one tell you otherwise.
In April. I mean, well, almost April. I'm starting to be known. You know what I mean? Like, if I go to the same McDonald's too many times, they're that guy again. You know? I'm like the town bum or the town invalid. Like, you know. Go Dolphins!
You'll never be a bum in that gear, Culler. You'll never be a bum. As long as you got that aqua and orange on your body, man, you'll never be a bum.
Yeah, you know it, man. You know it. Hey, have a great evening, Lewis. I'll catch you later, buddy.
Too, Culler.
Everybody, love you all. Fins up. Have a good one.